Good morning, everybody. It's 7 a.m. on Monday, October 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 75. It is getting cold out there. Coming up on OTB, we start your day with some headlines, and in the second hour, we had the latest edition of Weekend Winners. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or you can watch us live on YouTube for new content posted every day. You can also check us out on Cox Sports Television. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome in. It is Monday, October 18th. The football season month is rolling right along, and obviously it is a pretty wildly big Monday off the bench, as there was massive news over the weekend. There was also a football game that was played where LSU beat Florida for the third year in a row, defeating the Gators 49-42 in Tiger Stadium.
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 overall.
9 out of the last 12.
9 out of the last 12. The all-time series, despite the Spurrier domination of the 90s, now just one game apart. I think it's like 33-32. Maybe Florida still barely has the edge, but LSU has, quite frankly, dominated this series as of late, and Saturday was no different. As for the second year in a row, a double-digit dog, and you go out there and you beat Dan Mullen and the Florida Gators. And don't look now, for all the talk of LSU being 7-8 against Power 5 teams in the national championship, et cetera, et cetera. Florida is 2-6 in their last 8 games against Power 5 teams. And don't they have Georgia coming up next? May have to double check.
It's like the winter. It's coming at some point. It doesn't matter when it is.
Either way, that 2-6 number going to get even worse. So, yeah, man, look, Saturday was awesome. TDP setting rushing records. Just an exciting back and forth game where it seemed like, every time Florida was going to finally, okay, well, that's the punch that'll do you, and that's the punch that'll do you. And LSU showed a ton of, they had a huge reserve of mental toughness ready to go as they continually hit back, and they get the huge win. Now, couple that with the news on Sunday to where it comes out the next day that there is still going to be a regime change for LSU football. Press conference last night at 7 p.m., Coach O and Scott Woodward up there basically presenting a united front about, I don't know if amicable is the right word, even though it felt amicable, right? But just a mutual understanding being reached and a parting of ways to where if you missed it, which I don't know how you would if you're listening to the show, but Coach O will no longer be the LSU head football coach next season. However, he will finish this season, and he will get the full extent of his buyout, and everybody kind of goes their separate ways. I'm sure there's like non-disparagement agreements somewhere in the mix, and everybody just keeps it copacetic and tries to finish this year out. So as you can tell, there's like so much to talk about, like to break down the actual game, to break down what you think about the actual decision to move on and how it was handled, and then to break down about what comes next for LSU. How you feeling today, Jake?
We were talking, and obviously last week we were talking about Thursday at about 8 p.m. I think most of the people in the know had this, and then it really started to spread. By Friday morning when we were at walk-ons, I think most everyone had kind of heard the rumors, and too many people had kind of confirmed it themselves to make it not be true, right? And so we all kind of had this information, and certainly the team's going to have this information as well once you get to that point, and you got to go play a game when you kind of know all of this, and that makes it even more impressive that they were able to lock in coaches, players, staff, the whole deal, and win the game because it was out there. Everybody knew at that point, and so I give them a lot of credit for locking in and winning a football game that's certainly against a very tough opponent, one that you were a double-digit dog at home. So there's, like you mentioned, T, there's a lot to get into. There's a lot to different ways to kind of go with this. It's going to be an exciting show. It's going to be a show that we celebrate a victory against a team that you have owned over the last couple of years, and obviously we'll reflect on Coach O's time, and we'll also kind of look in and down the road and kind of see what this does for LSU now that Coach O's staying on for the rest of the season. How did they handle that? Because it's a different situation. Let's call it like it is. Like, typically you don't see this with the coach as high profile as Coach O, championship coach, stay on and finish his tenure when he already knows he won't be back next year. So, how the team handles this. They handled it on Saturday, but how can they handle it moving forward for the rest of the year?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I've seen a lot of people say, well, of course it's all good, right? I would be too if I was getting $17 million. And look, I definitely understand that logic. But what Jake's saying is still true. Those kind of buyouts are common. They happen all the time. The agreement that LSU seemed to have reached where the coach will finish out the season, and like I said, it seems generally amicable and kind of mutual in a lot of ways, that is rare. That is uncommon. And I mean, as we continue to break it down all day long, I think you're seeing a lot of why Scott Woodward has such a better reputation than someone like Joe Oliva. I mean, just look at how the two coaching transfers have been handled thus far. And the situation still has to play out. But this looks like it makes all the sense in the world in terms of handling the news cycle over the next few weeks, right? Because now you don't have to answer these questions constantly. Yeah. The fan base already, you felt the temperament immediately change, right? And go back to being pro-O.
Right.
Because now nobody's concerned about the long-term future because now it's allowing people to appreciate and celebrate the good times and not be as zeroed in on the bad times.
Did it feel like to you last night just watching it almost felt like, I don't want to say, there was this weight lifted off his shoulder, but it just felt like there was some ease. There was just some ease that, okay, we've talked about this, what's swirling around, and Coach O, I've always said this, one of the best things about him is he knows exactly what this job is, what it means, and he said that before, and I truly believe him when he says that because he said it off the record, on the record, the whole deal, and it last night just kind of did feel like there was some, okay, it is what it is, don't want to be in this position, but now we can go out there and we can just play football games.
Yeah, and it's like he said, man, he's 60 years old. He's been doing this for 37 years, and everything else that you just spend so long every day. You're in the present. You're in the day-to-day grind, and all he has known for those 37 years is waking up at 5 a.m., leaving work at 10, grinding with recruits on the phone all day, talking to coaches, putting together game plans, just a 24/7 grind. And so while you always, just from a pride and just your job, you never want to be in this situation, at least in my brain, which maybe that doesn't even apply because all these coaches are kind of a bit off in terms of how obsessive they are.
Yeah.
But in my brain, I feel like I could definitely understand how when you're actually forced to sit back and really look at it on balance, you're like, I'm tired, man. I'm tired, bro. I've been on this grind for a long time. I got the run. I made it. I achieved the ultimate glory. I even got the big buyout that everybody dreams of, right? And so, I could understand maybe that almost like that relief, Jake, that you were talking about.
And some different circumstances, right? I know LSU is not what LSU needs to be right now and what the future looks like. I understand that Coach O talked about that yesterday. But it also is a little different, the fact that they're not 1-6. They're not 2-5. They're 4-3. They're 2-2 in league play. So it's not where LSU wants to be, right? But it's also a different situation, the fact that you don't have this team that can't go win games.
Yeah.
You still have a team, even though you're missing all these pieces, that can still go win games. And so, now, for Coach O, he's playing with house money. He got the buyout, you mentioned.
Yeah.
He's got the championship.
Yeah.
Now the pressure of every single week, am I going to walk into the locker room and not have a job is over. And inevitably what's going to happen.
Oh, and if this team makes a bowl game, we're blowing that thing out. Yeah, you've never seen.
It doesn't matter what bowl game, right?
Yeah, I'm about to say, you've never seen a party like the Independence Bowl party that will take place if this team ends up making a bowl game. It's gonna. I do firmly believe that Tiger Nation will send Coach O out on top if they were able to get there, and then even hopefully win it would be even better. And guess what? We need to talk about the actual game because this team has found something. I have 3 very clear reasons that I believe you have seen this team run the ball so well recently. We'll get to those coming up. Right now, let's go ahead and start how we start every single show. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like button, share it with your friends. I could do my best when talking about Florida. Remember, this is not whiskey and wine. I cannot just scream F Florida. So,
God, that's pretty tough.
Because I was really enjoying that Saturday. I've never had so much fun being able to.
That's 2 years in a row. You've got to really celebrate a Florida victory or LSU over Florida victory.
That's true in a very live and public setting. Last year was a fan cave, and this year whiskey. Well, absolutely, man. But I just got to tell myself no F. Okay, just can't say it on air. But anyway. If you watch on YouTube, hit the like button, share with your friends.
Mario, get the button ready.
Have the dump button ready.
Have it ready.
I think so. Absolutely. All right, now let's dive into some headlines.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys, for those who are born to grill. Visit bbqguys.com to learn more.
In LSU football news, you already know, but the Tigers beat down the Florida Gators 49-42. And what did you know? It was behind the best single-game rushing performance in LSU history.
Like we all had it.
Yes. LSU, the best running team in the country the last 2 weeks. Now, that's not statistically true.
I feel like it's probably close.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
Probably from Saturday alone. I know Ty Davis Price is probably from Saturday alone the best as he goes for 287 yards on 36 carries, 3 touchdowns. He ends up, like I said, in the LSU record books, passing Leonard Fournette's 284. Of course, also would have passed Darius Geis's record if that was still technically on the books. There is something nice, though, about that not even being technically on the books anymore either. That was just a nice bonus given to us from TDP. Side note here on the Fournette record, I forgot he only had 16 carries. What in the hell was that game?
Oh my gosh. I remember the Ole Miss game, but the fact that he had 16 carries?
Bro, this dude almost averaged almost 20 yards a carry. He's at 15 or something. Doesn't make any sense. But shout out TDP, man.
But it also, that is impressive. And I don't even think I ever did that in high school. Leonard is Leonard, and he's a beast. But for TDP to have the record against Florida, you know what I mean? There's some schools to have the all-time rushing record at your school in a single game, and it to be against Florida, that's special.
Dude, I think that Florida held Bama to under 100 yards rushing.
Their run defense was not bad. Let's don't look at this and say, crazy. Oh, Todd Grantham. No, their run defense to this point was not a bad one.
Well, that's the wildest part, dude. While Florida at times was playing some light boxes and LSU took advantage of it, really, LSU just blocked.
They don't want to see that counter ever again.
Ed Ingram just kicked ass. He looked like old Ed Ingram. We'll keep talking about it all day, but the O-line just won their one-on-one battles.
And Jack Mashburn.
Yes.
Hats off to you, buddy. He
is one of the 3-point spoiler alerts that I think has led to such night and day improvement. Ty Davis Price also named Walter Camp National Offensive Player of the Week.
As he should have.
Very well deserved there.
And put a pin in this because I want to come back to it. I know this is headlines and we don't spend a lot of time on each subject, but I want to come back and I want to share a conversation I had with TDP because I think mentally he is built the right way right now, and I want to get to it.
I got it bookmarked on the document.
Okay, I was about to say, don't count on us to remember this.
Yeah, no, I got it written down. Okay, that's always the best way. In Coach O news, as we said yesterday, Orgeron and LSU have agreed to mutually part ways. He will coach the remainder of the season. He will get the full $17 million buyout of his contract. It's going to come in some pretty nice installments through 2025. Not a bad life for every 4 times a year you get $750K.
Yeah, got the Bobby Bonilla contract.
Yeah. I think we can all appreciate how nice that would potentially be. Hey man, you win a championship, a lot of good things come with it. In New Orleans Saints news, the Saints were off this weekend, but they will be back this Monday as they're going to travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, a little Monday Night Football. Last night in Sunday Night Football, it was the Steelers who used a late turnover to beat the Seahawks 23-20 in OT. Geno Smith filling in for Russell Wilson did pretty well, but the Steelers get it done in the end, completing a perfect weekend for Joey Molinaro. Right? LSU beats Florida, Purdue upsets Iowa, and then his Steelers win to get back to 500 on Sunday Night Football. Shout out to our guy Joey. That's the clean sweep.
You're right. He's had some ebbs and flows this year, but this was definitely one of the peaks for our boy. And now I've got to be honest, this game wasn't the best game to watch. It was a little sloppy, certainly in the first half. And what we're going to get to next was happening, so your boy was locked in.
And there it is. Speaking of a clean sweep, how about Jocktober, baby? That's right. The Braves walk off the Dodgers not once, but twice over the weekend. Winning 3-2 on Saturday, 5-4 on Sunday. Both games in Atlanta. The Tomahawk Chop, Rock, and Jock Peterson coming up big. Jake, how you feeling about your Bravos, brah?
All right, so I still feel really good. Jock Peterson, man, I know that's got to feel great. Your team, the Dodgers that you played for last year, now you've been at the Cubs in between the Dodgers and Braves, but for you to come out and have the series that you're having, you had a good series also in the NLDS against the Brewers. And there was a show, one of the co-hosts here was talking about Jock Peterson and the impact he could have, and I got shot down a little bit, not only by T-Bob.
What?
But
What?
by Hunt Palmer, the host of Hunt and Hill.
Yep.
Laughed at it.
Wow.
Laughed at me for talking about Jock Peterson.
Wow. Hey, Hunt, what are the Cubs doing during Jocktober?
Fishing.
Yeah.
Probably
Shout out
not,
Braves.
It's been a fun series so far, but all
But
Braves
you're
fans
nervous.
know Braves were up 3-1
Yeah.
last time against the
Yeah.
Dodgers, and it didn't work out. So I'll really celebrate and act the you-know-what after they win the series.
So that's not the only series going on, though. There is also the ALCS, where the Astros won game 1 5-4 on Friday. For the Red Sox, come back and win game 2 9-5 on Saturday. They will play their game 3 at 7 p.m. tonight. And then the Braves and the Dodgers will be back in action in a critical one tomorrow at 4 p.m. Hey, back-to-back walk-off wins in the playoffs. You know the last time the Braves did that?
I don't.
94 World Series. When they won it.
They won it in 95.
Well, whatever. You get what I'm saying. The
Against
last time they won the World
the
Series.
Indians.
I remember. Albert
Kenny
Bell.
Lofton, Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Jim Tomei, Manny Ramirez.
You could not grow up in it. You could
Sandy
not
Alomar.
You could not grow up in Atlanta and not be keenly aware and
You're
in
right.
love with those Braves.
I don't know who the coach of that Indians team was, but those names we just rolled off, my God. How'd you not win?
David
World
Justice?
Series?
Was he on that? Those teams yet?
No, he was still with the Braves.
Was he still with the Braves
I
doing
believe
the
so.
World Series too? And then he went after.
Yeah.
I did actually on King River Junior Slugfest for the N64. I used to play with the Indians. They were a fun team.
Yeah, they were.
All right, those are your headlines. Coming up next, let's dive into the game, the coach search. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
If you were born to grill, you have to go to Barbecue Guys for all your grilling and outdoor living needs. With the largest selection of top grills and outdoor products and best-in-class customer service, Barbecue Guys has it all. Visit bdqguys.com. That's bdqguys.com. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. If you love Off the Bench, you love All-Star Toyota. They help us bring you the show every single day. They also helped solve my family's new car needs, right? I really drove the hell out of the last ones I had till they were just dead in the water. And I was a little intimidated by the car purchase process, a little overwhelmed. I went into All-Star Toyota. I let them guide me. I ended up in a 2020 Toyota, seeing a minivan that I'm absolutely in love with, leasing a Camry, which I never would have expected. But like I said, all of my family's needs were met and then some. And it's all thanks to the guidance, the selection, the customer service, everything over at All-Star Toyota.
Yeah, trading in, buying new, or if you're looking like T-Bob, you want to lease, you can do that. Of course, you can rent a Toyota as well. Per day pricing, only a 2-hour minimum. So even if you just need it for the day, that is there for you. You can check out all the rates at allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care.
Join us for Monday's edition of Hunt and Hill. The Tigers and Gators are done. We'll be reacting to it after Ed Ogeron takes the mic. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN, youtube.com/1045 ESPN. If you're watching on YouTube, we got a lot of y'all in there. Go ahead and hit the like button. Jake, during headlines, you said that you had something that we wanted to circle back to, a conversation that you had with Tyron Davis-Price. When was this? What was said? Why is it so important to you that we mentioned this?
No, so I just want you to know that as a college football player, even in the professional ranks, but more in college, just because of your age, when you're in a position like Ty was, and all of us, and y'all know me, I'll raise my hand because I was calling for something different too. And it wasn't a running back issue. It was more of an offensive line issue, but you're trying to find a way to create any type of running game, right? And so you're thinking, no, okay, well, there's some other backs that maybe can create on their own a little bit more. And we talked about it. We talked about it and linked on Monday last week. But I had a conversation with him and said, hey, you can go two ways whenever this happens. You can. And you can be a player that pouts about it, that goes into the tank, that makes it about himself, or you can, do it the other way. And you can stand up, stand tall. When your back's against the wall, that's when you have your best. That's when you show out and those type of things. And like he understood like what the assignment was. He understood that there was a point when it was getting very close, because if you watch that Kentucky game, Corey Kiner came in that game very early.
Yeah.
And they had a plan, and the pistol runs, that was Corey Kiner. So they were going to put the freshman in. And then Ty Davis-Price raised his level of play. And I thought he was very mature in it. He handled it. He raised his level of play. Now, has some things in front of him changed with the blocking scheme and some of the personnel? Absolutely. But you got to give this young man credit because he's running like I've never really seen him run before. Now, he's had some big moments in his LSU career. This man is running behind his pads.
Yeah, he had a Hester.
He wanted every piece of contact in that game. Like, if you go back and you see some of the end zone copies facing the offense, the TV crew did a really nice job of capturing this. He's in the open, and his eyes are on, like he's looking for someone, because there's a couple of things, and maybe you can try to find 2 or 3 extra yards. No, he wanted the contact. He ran through people. And so I give this young man a lot of credit because we had this conversation, and he did not pout. He didn't take his ball and go home. He stayed locked in, and then when he had this opportunity, he went and did big boy stuff.
Yeah, he did. And, I mean, I think it was Josh Shibley that tweeted a little mashup of your very famous Florida truck stick and one of the truck sticks from this game. And, yeah, man, it was shockingly similar. It was that physicality that you always knew Tyron Davis-Price was capable of, right, with his size and everything else. And on this day, he had it. Now, I think it probably helps to be able to build up that momentum when you're not getting touched for 4 or 5 yards. Like, you're not getting hit behind the line of scrimmage. Imagine that.
Yeah.
You put a running back in a better position to succeed, and what do? They succeed mightily. But no, I mean, look, man, I had it. I might have tweeted at the beginning of the game. I had it in my notes. The thing that kept coming back is like, he ain't quit, right?
Nope.
At a time when a lot of people a lot of people's morale was low, a lot of the fan base has thrown their hands up. It's a lost season. Who cares about anything? Blah, 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 blah. He ain't quit. And he was kind of the spark plug for this entire team. They ain't quit. And the mental toughness that they showed on Saturday, the ability to overcome adversity, I thought was simply fantastic. So we'll get more to the actual game itself because I do want to spend the majority of today's show on the game itself.
I mean, just the patience, too, just from Ty Davis-Price before we kind of move on and look at this game as a whole. That's something else that you got to give him credit. He changed his running style because when you go back and you watch a lot of the early clips, and some of it's because you start to see ghost when every time you get the ball, you're getting hit, but he was running in the back of his offensive lineman. And you and I have talked about that on the air, off the air, and sometimes you get the ball, you're expecting to get hit, and you're trying, man, let me get 3 yards. Let me see if I can just duck my head and get 3 yards. He also is now really, really patient. Like, and you watch some of these carries, he's not trying to bat out of hell, go towards the line of scrimmage. These are plays, these are counter plays that have multiple pullers. They also have a tight end that has to get his block on the second level with the way they're running this counter, and he's patient. He's allowing everything to develop in front of them, and then he's got enough speed to be able to pick it up, get through the hole, and get to the second level fast. Like, everybody has kind of changed something to make this running game better, and they all deserve a lot of credit because it's hard to change things like this in the middle of the year.
Yeah.
Like what do we always say? Like, by game 5, you kind of are who you are, but they completely changed the way they're running the football.
And so, again, we'll get to the game itself. Let's talk about Coach O here real quick. I have 3 questions. Did LSU make the correct decision to move on from Coach O? Did they handle it correctly? And will it be awkward from here on out? So let's start with the first. Did LSU make the correct choice here?
Make the correct choice. So it feels like when you look at where everything was and where it's going, like LSU didn't want it to spiral in a way where they didn't feel like they could come back quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that all of us could agree that there was years under Coach Miles at the end that it felt like you were just existing and not living.
Yeah.
I think a lot of what happened to Coach O had a lot to do with kind of how last time went. Would you say that's fair?
I think that's absolutely fair. I think, well, I think, yeah, in one case you have a more swift, abrupt ending versus a slow, methodical decline. Now, then again, I think sometimes, too, if we really just want to boil it down, you could say it was a correct decision simply because of the results on the field. Because that is the other thing. The Miles downfall was kind of extended and dragged out over time, but it's because they were winning enough, like just enough to extend it and drag it out over time, right? The stat that you can't get away from still is a 7-8 against a Power 5 in the last 2 years, right? And so just from, like Jake said, from a trends standpoint, the decision was almost made for you, like simply by the play on the field, especially because, like Jake said, you still have recruiting, like you still have a lot of very solid foundational building blocks on this roster, resources, et cetera, where don't let the situation get too bad. Try to right the ship. Now, there comes a lot of pressure, and we're going to talk plenty of hiring, obviously, over the next few months, however long this thing lasts, and Woodward has to get it right. But those are two separate, like, you don't fire someone. You fire someone or you move on because you know it's time to move on, not because, like, someone you want to hire or anything like that, right? So those are two separate conversations. I do think they made the correct decision. I almost think, like I said, that it was made for them. Did they handle the process correctly?
With the timing of everything?
As it stands today, yes. With the timing, I mean, because there was an idea on Saturday, okay, like, for sure, like you said, everybody. It was the worst kept secret in Baton Rouge at that point.
Like
right?
most things
it's
are.
like Brody. Brody had that incredibly well written piece ready to roll right when it happened. Right, Ross was putting together postmortems for a few days before.
Yeah.
But so I knew, like, okay, if they lose, it's for sure happening. But there was a question: if they win, well, what do you do? Right. So do you feel like it was handled correctly?
So when you have another big job out there, and there certainly is one in USC, like, do you value getting ahead of the trend and letting people know that your job is going to be available? Do you wait until the season's in? And I know that I think it was you do a lot of podcasts and shows like I do. I think it was on Whiskey and Wine that you were talking about, what happens if you don't do it, and then you roll out this miraculous run and you only lose one more game, and then you get in a situation where you wanted to make a move. Everybody knows you were trying to make a move, and then, like, do you make the move? Just like what happened with Coach Miles there at the end. I think they made the move at this time, at least it feels like for me, because they know that there's another job out there, USC, that's a blue blood job, that's, a top 5, arguably, job, and they wanted to get ahead if they knew that eventually and inevitably they were going to make the move.
Yeah,
it stings. I mean, it's not fun for coaches to coach and these assistants don't know their future. I don't feel great for them at all. There's a lot of assistant coaches that you and I both have great relationships with, and now they're in the upside down. They don't know what their future is going to be. Now, some of these coaches have been here through multiple coaches. Some are new this year. Some have been here a couple of years. Whatever the case might be, there's an uncertainty for them that I don't love. But when you start looking at why they decided to do it now, I think it just has to do with they wanted to get ahead and let every, hot candidate out there know that they were going to have an opening.
I agree that there's something to be said, especially with the early signing day, for getting ahead of this thing and trying to get a coach in place before that signing day so you can sign guys. I think that also, like I said, it kind of helps with the amicable split between O and the school, and because there were some rumors of some toxicity and what direction would this thing go, and it seems like in this case now everybody stays calm. The only thing, Jake, that makes it weird from here is actually if they go on that miraculous run. And that's probably why I think this is the right way, because I don't think that'll happen. I think they got a win or two left in him, right?
Like, they certainly have a win.
Definitely with UL Monroe, but I mean beyond that.
Although UL Monroe beat Liberty, shout out Warhawks.
Yeah, shout out Warhawks. But you definitely win there, and I think you maybe got one more, right? And then bowl eligible and everything, and maybe even more, I don't know. But my point is, the only way it gets really awkward now is if you, like, beat Alabama or something, and you go on some, like, crazy run, and then, like, well, why are you firing him? But again, I think from Woodward's perspective, you do have to approach it from like, what are the odds of this happening? And the odds are still not that that's going to take place. So when you look at how Joe Oliva handled the transition, and instead of being public and forward-facing with these decisions, floated it through the media, left Miles dangling in the wind, he made him into a martyr. This avoids a lot of that martyrdom situation, again, unless they go on some crazy, insane winning streak. Because, and like I said, already like that, you could feel the LSU fan base's temperament switch, right? From angry and yelling and disparaging and constantly attacking what's happened recently, to all of a sudden the rose-colored lenses are already being applied, right? People already thinking and looking back to the positive times and the magic of 2019. And yeah, so I think it was actually handled pretty spectacularly all around, and what is a very tough situation for everybody all around, at least as it stands today, right? Yeah. This process has to play out over time.
I know I go to break, but also the way Coach O handled it last night, I thought was very, very big of him. I mean, I don't even know how I would act in this situation, but you can tell the love and appreciation he has for LSU.
Yeah.
Like whenever you hear him speak, and I think I can speak for you here, that man has always welcomed us back into the program like with open arms.
Well, not even just like all former players.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, no, not because we're on this show by any means. I'm talking about former players like from day one.
And a far cry from what it was in the Miles era, where it was like if you didn't make the NFL, then you were just completely forgotten about.
That's completely fair. That's completely fair.
And no, he welcomed back everybody, whether you ever even played in a game or not. Like if you bled, sweat, and fought during practice, summer workouts, whatever, with the LSU Tigers, you could go to practice anytime.
And we'll make it a point during
passes.
Training camp practice to come say hello to you, even if you didn't remember who you were or didn't know who you were as a player.
And, I mean, dude, he healed the wounds of 2011, man. Wounds that ran very deep for many people. I mean, it's crazy if you hear Jarvis, Odell, anybody, myself, Will Blackwell, like anybody who's a part of that 2011 team, it was truly cathartic to see that championship won. Mm-hmm. It truly was the lifting of a long time regret and kind of burden off of a lot of shoulders, which sounds so stupid, but because whatever, it's football, it's just a game, but it's the truth.
Yeah. I mean, no, I think everybody out there appreciates and knows exactly what you're saying.
All right, look, let's keep talking about all of this. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. 925-8552 is the number, 925-8552. If you like Central Plumbing, hit the like button and just call 925-8552 for any plumbing issues that you may have commercially or residentially or commercially, right? If you have a business or an office building or something and you need all of your plumbing needs met, they have the insurance, paperwork, and personnel to do so. And just look at the growth of Central Plumbing. They've been at this thing for 50 years, y'all. And they've grown so much in those 50 years because their customers are consistently satisfied. Go to centralplumbing.org today.
Remember, it doesn't have to be in an emergency. Now, if you do have an emergency, 225-925-8552 is the number to call. They will be there 24/7. But if you're looking to remodel your bathroom, if you're looking to install a tankless water heater, they can do that, and they do it better than anyone. They are ready and waiting on you. Like T-Bob said, residential or commercial, they can handle anything with the fleet that they have. Online at centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggie's in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Florida. Cole Kublik will be with us to recap the weekend in the SEC, and the Saints are finally off their bye. We're talking about it 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, Off the Bench. Thank you to everyone who's hanging out with us this morning. We got a ton of y'all in the YouTube chat today. Go ahead and hit that like button. Very easy, and it really helps us out. I know, and I hate being that guy because everybody watches YouTube and everybody says it, and it's kind of eye-rolly, but again, we are all slave to the algorithmic gods, and so if you can throw your boys a bone that way, that obviously helps. So there's a ton of talk going on who the next coach
I thought you said
will
callers.
be.
I'm like, oh, we're opening them up?
No.
What?
No,
Are we really?
I don't think so. I think I think calling formats are very fun. I think that it is kind of dependent on the time of the day. And I don't know that I think morning radio is always the best spot for it. Because we have a little bit of a weird 5-minute segment here, Jake, did you want to? Or are you just going to add something about callers?
No, I was just, no.
Okay.
I have never taken them on a local show, and certainly not at 7:45 in the morning. I just thought that's what you were about to say.
No. I just think, I mean, look, at night when, it like works. At nighttime when you drink. Okay, I'm getting lost here. So we went very long early on, and so there's going to have to be a short segment here. So I want to address something that I'm seeing floating around a lot right now, and that is this argument over kind of what race or what weight LSU is putting on the race factor in this coaching search. And here's my deal, is that obviously you never want to hire someone or fire someone or make any decision like that based off of somebody's race, right? Black, white, Asian, whatever, right? I think the unfortunate truth of the time we live in and where we live is that for many, many, many years, unfortunately, that has been the case a lot of times. And maybe not solely the case, but look, I think that if you look around a lot of business, like a lot of places, like people argue against things like affirmative action because they view it as racist and putting their scale on the weight for one race over another, et cetera, et cetera. But you also have to understand that affirmative action is something that is a kind of response to how things have naturally played out in a lot of industries. If you look at something like college football coaching, despite the vast majority of players being black, the vast majority of coaches are white. Is this really because these guys are just 100% the better coaches 24/7? Or is it because even if it's not nefarious, even if it's not anything where you're setting out to do this, sometimes, look, it is completely natural to choose your friends, to choose people you know, to kind of put your thumb on the scale, even if you're not doing it purposefully, for things that you are comfortable with. And so it can naturally lead you down this road where through the years, there have probably been many excellent candidates who were black for head coaching jobs throughout the country that could have been better than who was eventually hired, but they were never given that opportunity. So obviously, you do not hire someone based off of race, but at the same time, this needs to be as open and as wide-ranging of a search as possible. And so it has to include all the names, anybody who you think could be a fit at LSU, and then you land where you land. And if you do land on a Mel Tucker, a James Franklin, or a minority head coach, me personally, I do think that would be, I think that would be really, I think it'd be kind of landmark for LSU. Remember, I mean, Durante Jones, your first black coordinator, except for what, I think somebody who was an OC for 1 year back in the day. So I think that would be great, and we would absolutely celebrate it. And I think it would be kind of like a callback to maybe many of those guys before in years past who could have or should have gotten these jobs, or at least the opportunity to get these jobs, but were not allowed to because of wherever culture was at that time. So again, you don't base this decision off of race, but also you have to vet all candidates, and you have to make sure that you are truly vetting all candidates, and you are not just doing it to check some sort of like Rooney Rule type box, which unfortunately we've seen now, like with Bruce Allen's emails in the NFL, he was not giving those guys serious chances at that Washington football team job. He was literally making jokes about just doing it to fulfill the Rooney Rule. So LSU, that's my main thing. You just have to approach this sincerely and genuinely and vet everybody and give everybody an equal opportunity to get this job.
Yeah, So for me, and there's a couple of things, and I know we'll talk about it. We got 2 hours left in the show, like things that you're looking for and what you want in the next head coach and all those type of things. My deal is don't maybe hone in on one guy and put all your chips in the middle of the table for this one guy. And then if it doesn't work out, you start to spiral a little bit. And you're like, man, I want choice 2 and 3, but 2 and 3, now they're already talking to this team. And man, we got to go 4, 5, and 6. Like, spread the net out, like you said, and have a checklist of everything that you want for this program to be, and that person has done that. And we'll get into it, but I don't even need like to have a national championship winning coach. Like, I don't need that. Like, that's not a requirement. Is it nice to have? Yes.
But yeah, because you're probably not going to get that.
No, there's only a couple of those guys. Follow the checklist. Know what you want your program to look like, who you want to be the leader of that program during that process, and have them have that in their past history to show that they have done it elsewhere. And all that they needed was the backing and the resources and everything that comes with the LSU job to maybe go to even another level. I'm with you. Like, the best candidate should get the job, and they should aim as high as physically possible.
Yeah. So I guess how I would sum it up, the best candidate should get the job. In the past, I think there have been best candidates that have been left off of the list for reasons like race and other things. And so all that just needs to be out the window, right? And everybody needs to be getting an equal look here and then see where you land. All right. So like I said, we got to be short here. We'll be short to wrap up hour 1, and then we'll start to dive into the game and more coaching search talk, maybe who are some of the names. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to therelaxationcompany.org, therelaxationcompany.org, TRC Massage. Shout out to Relaxation Company. They sponsored Whiskey and Wine on Saturday. They have incredible cryo deals going on right now. You know, Jake, we were talking about the new cryo machine where you literally can I think it freeze. I'm not a scientist, but I think it freezes the fat off. I don't know how it works. Okay, so I shouldn't talk like that. All I know is you can literally lose inches off of your waist, and right now you can get up to $600 off. Go to and go get a massage as well. Pelican Point and Gonzalez, the relaxation company.
Yeah, we told you last week, if you go to TR Massage on Instagram, you would have seen this special that if you signed up for their newsletter, you're going to get a chance to win $100 right on their website. Kimberly Noel, Aaron Blanchard both won those gift cards. They're always doing stuff like that on TRC Massage on Instagram. They update it all the time. They have fantastic specials, deals. It is the place to go, therelaxationcompany.org.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way.
It's week 7 in the prep football season, and we get you started Friday night with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. And then starting at 10 o'clock, it's a full 2 hours of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on YouTube, CST, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you. A lot of people asking about the report of, girlfriend's kids running around at practice and stuff at the LSU practices. I think it was Matt Trent that had the tweet that kind of went a little viral over the weekend. I don't know about you, Jake. I don't know for sure, but knowing like some things I do know and like just kind of context clues about how this stuff generally goes, I think there is some kernel of truth there, like an element, right, where sure, you're dating a girl, her kids come by, you let her come to practice, you'll maybe after practice like throw around the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
But like to me, it does feel like an exaggerated kernel of truth. It's not like they were out there running like the bag drill or something with the guy.
I go to mostly training camp practices. Like once the season starts, like I don't go to practice every single day. I never saw that during training camp. I don't know if you did during training camp.
No, that's what I'm saying. And like I can see, like I said, like the kids like coming to a practice and after it, like maybe throwing the ball around or something.
I know the Hester kids have.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I think that's overdone as well.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right, something that you should overdo is go to the App Store and download the DraftKings app. If you're listening to this, and then you should overdo it by playing a lot of games because there's so many different choices. Last night, you could have played the Seahawks Steelers. You could have played the Braves Dodgers. Like, you don't need a full slate. Now, if you do have a full slate, you can do that, right? There's like 12 college football games. You can select a 10-player lineup from those games, but you can also do Showdown Captain Mode where you only play that one game. And you select the captain, then you select the rest of your team. You stay under that salary cap, and you get vested interest in every single game that's on primetime or just on TV in general. It's a lot of fun to do. Now is the time to do it. You got the Monday night game coming up tonight. You've got playoff baseball, Astros, Red Sox. Go ahead, download that DraftKings app in the App Store today.
That's right. So that daily fantasy, what's it called, the Showdown mode?
Yeah, Captain Showdown mode.
Captain Showdown mode. You can literally draft just for tonight's Monday Night Football game, win some money. Go to DraftKings. Promo code Baton Rouge. DraftKings, promo code.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt and Hill, The Early Line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
Dr. Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Monday, October 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 75. Coming up on OTB Hour 2, we had the latest edition of Weekend Winners, and we discuss what's next for LSU football. You can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or watch us live on YouTube for new content posted every day. You can also check us out on Cox Sports Television. And if you missed Hour 1 of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome back. Hour number 2 of OTB. If you're liking on YouTube, shout out. We got a lot of y'all in there. Hit the like button. And let's crank them likes up. We get to 300. We'll make Danny do the chili in the shoe by the end of the week. That is a guarantee. We just made the executive decision.
I don't understand, Danny. And I'm typically 95% of the time I've got your back, especially, you and Mario start to get into it. But you're always about the content. And you're always pushing the content on T-Bob and I, and even Mario and Rivers.
Yeah.
But you never, ever dive into it yourself.
No, I just think we need like a longer lasting, like the likes in a day, like that's nothing. Like we need something long term.
Yeah, I know, but you're still gonna have to eat chili out of shoe. So shut up. It's not up for discussion.
Like we should have did like follow us on Instagram. OTB_ESPN.
Yeah, that's all. Okay, so think about that for the future.
After you eat
But
chili.
for now, if we get to 300 likes, Danny will eat chili out of a shoe on Friday's show. That decision's made. Danny, you and your blue light glasses can just suck it up. I'm actually
It
jealous.
was actually my idea to give to you because it was your chili. So.
Yep. That I've been.
I don't know why
fermenting
I have to eat it.
Because we're a team, Danny. That's why we're a team.
Okay, so let's all do it.
No, we're a team, so it's your turn to do it. Now is what I'm saying. Like it's your turn. You're the TDP of this challenge, Danny. You got to step up and put the team on your back.
36 carries.
Are you ready? Are you ready to be that, Danny? Can you handle that mantle?
As long as you eat some.
Yeah. Okay, you're a great leader. We all look forward to you eating that chili out of a shoe. But first, we got to hit 300. Okay, so a lot of people are asking me about Mel Tucker, right? Because I compared Mel Tucker and Jay Johnson in the YouTube chat. Also, how funny is it that I randomly fell into that Mel Tucker hole a couple of nights ago? That had nothing to do with, I had never thought about him as a candidate for the LSU job before this. And then I just saw a really cool Athletic article about how he remade Michigan State. I don't want to go over it again, but if you missed it, basically, remember, Michigan State, D'Antonio had kind of run them into the ground. He quit after signing day in February.
Yeah.
Tucker gets hired after 1 year in Colorado, which that's key. Is that they still thought because one of the core points in all of this is just simply how highly people think of Tucker within the business. But he gets hired away after 1 year in Colorado. He takes over in March. COVID breaks out 2 weeks later. So you get no offseason with this new team. You don't know these players at all. They go 2-5 last year. They lose every game but like 26 points. They're horrible. And then he takes this very forward-thinking and deadly effective approach to the transfer portal where they treat it like NFL free agency, the entire personnel department created just for transfer portal uses. They force 26 guys out, essentially, to remake the culture of the team. They bring 15 in, including the Heisman candidate, Kenneth Walker, their starting left tackle, the court. I mean, the list goes on. And it was just masterful navigation of a weird new time in college football that has Michigan State going from being a horrible bottom of the Big Ten to now at the top. Now, granted, Michigan State's about to be tested, right? So if Mel Tucker really wants this job, like there are big wins to be had, then maybe y'all would be like, okay, now I kind of see it. So I get it if you're like not there before the wins. I completely understand. The reason why I compare him and Jay Johnson is because both would not be number one on the list, right? Jay Johnson definitely was not. I mean, what was Johnson? 5, 6? Like, I don't know what they ended up I don't care what they would tell you. Yeah. They worked their way to Jay Johnson. I think you would work your way to Mel Tucker in a similar fashion. The reason why I compare them, Jake, is because they're both, like I said, very highly thought of. When you look at head coaching candidates, there is a reason why Michigan State, a school that loves football, and if you've never seen Michigan State's facilities, understand they invest a ton of money in football in East Lansing. It means everything to them. There's a reason why they went ahead and dealt with the headache of getting Mel Tucker out of Colorado after just 1 year and everything that was required of that. And that's because he is very, again, highly thought of. And in terms of resume, while he is a relatively young or new college head coach, so he doesn't
only 26 games as a college head coach.
That's what I'm saying. So he does not have the resume. You would be hiring him from a potential standpoint just because you believe in his potential and him being the best option. But in terms of X's and O's resume, that is pretty stellar, right? He's been an NFL defensive coordinator. He was obviously a DB coach at Saban, Alabama. He became Georgia's defensive coordinator and was dominant there. And then, like I said, he's done a good job in a limited window in making Michigan State good overnight. And granted, that article that I read, it's filled with a lot of very, what's the word I'm looking for? Flattering, very flattering talk about Tucker and just kind of what a kind of X Factor type of personality he has and how he was, for all the scouts and personnel, that everybody's kind of giving him credit as being that heart and soul guy that has affected that change. So again, I don't want to make it seem like he is the top candidate, but here's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, because I do think he's a little bit different. Like Jay Johnson, like Jay had been to Omaha, and Jay had done some things in his head coaching career that were far superior to what Mel's done so far.
Yeah. So don't compare the head coaching resumes. At the same time, though, it is a bit apples to oranges. There is no Omaha for football. I mean, I guess you could call it New Year's 6.
Peyton Manning used to yell at him.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I guess you could call New Year's 6 Omaha, right? So, if Mel Tucker makes New Year's 6 this year, then that's him going to Omaha.
His first Omaha.
Okay. So we can agree with that. So you're right. The resume standpoint is bad, but do you agree with that they are both guys where they feel like risers, right? They feel like very high potential guys. And in terms of even kind of development, right? When you look at what they did or what they're doing right now in Michigan State. And again, the other point of that is that they were not the top targets. Or Jay Johnson was not. I don't know where Mel Tucker sits on this list currently.
Yeah.
But whose resume would make you happy?
Right. And a lot of people are saying, last time you got a Michigan State coach that was a little unproven, but Nick Saban did coach 59 games at Michigan State before he got the LSU job. And, of course, he was the Toledo head coach and went 9-2 there before as a head coach. And so he had 70 games as a head coach before he got to LSU. But back to your question about resume, this is a very intriguing question because normally whenever this comes up, like last time LSU job was open, there was 2 candidates. It was Tom Herman, there was Jimbo Fisher that everyone was on. Like that was the 2. Like those were the 2 names. Right now, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, I think everybody has. It's not just me. Like, okay, well, who's the candidate? Who's like the top name? Because typically, like you feel like there is a top name, but even when the USC job came open, there wasn't like this consensus, like just, yep, that's the guy that everybody should go after. This is, the wonder coach that everybody's got to go and get. It doesn't feel like that this time. So that's why I think this process is so important, and the fact that you make the move now to create that time where you make sure that you have the right guy. You allow some things to play out. You allow some things to develop and see, because with Coach O coaching the rest of the year, that's big. And the fact that your program has more stability than it would if you had an interim coach. But like now you've got to make sure that you're vetting everyone the right way because you gave yourself this time. Don't waste this time.
Yes.
Like, find the right candidate. Throw a wide net. Don't hone in on one person and one person alone. I think that's the wrong way to do it. And if Mel Tucker's the guy at the end of the day, he's the guy.
Well, that's my overall point too, Jake, is that no resume is going to satisfy LSU fans. I mean, what has Lane Kiffin done? But I'm not saying that because I wouldn't be okay with a Kiffin hire. I would understand it. It would be like the Cardinals hiring Cliff Kingsbury. That seems to have worked out very well for them, right? He got fired at Texas Tech. He didn't have a resume. What was he? He was thought of as an elite X's and O's guy, an elite offensive mind. I think Mel Tucker's thought of in the same way, but on the defensive side of the ball. But the point is, like, Lane Kiffin's resume is not deserving of the LSU job. but many people would be celebrating if you snagged him from Ole Miss. Jimbo is the only one that maybe would be because he got the natty. But I mean, do you want to pay Jimbo $10 million a year? Is he deserving of $10 million a year? I mean, granted, you get the big win over Alabama at A&M, but on the whole, this has not been a good year for A&M. It's been a year of missed expectations. So I mean, and guess what? In the sport of football, there just aren't national championship winning coaches. So you're gonna give someone, in the vast majority of LSU fans' minds, someone is going to get a job that they arguably do not deserve. So that's why this all comes down to Woodward and the administration betting on their ability to evaluate talent. Because they're going to have to take a shot on someone and give somebody that opportunity, and that person's going to have to try to make them right.
What coaches currently have national championships?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like 5.
Nick, Jimbo, Dabo, Ed.
And
Mac Brown.
And Mac Brown, yes, thank you. Which is like a weird one, right? Because obviously Mac Brown's not a candidate.
Had a little bit of sabbatical in between those, his TV career.
That's what I'm saying. So even a resume like James Franklin, which is probably the best resume of anyone who hasn't won a natty, that is being kind of floated around in these talks for who should get the job. So he would win probably that resume race. But even there, there's flaws on it, right? Consistently losing in some of the bigger games to rivals. Does Penn State have a Big Ten championship under Franklin?
Didn't they win it that one year, not make the playoff, or was that just their division that they won?
Maybe you'd have to. Maybe we could do a little fact check there because I don't want to misspeak, but I feel like they don't. But even still, he's going to have the best resume. But again, it's not going to be a resume necessarily that is deserving of the school that's played for 4 natties, won 3 top 5 jobs in the country, all of that sort.
Big Ten championship in 2016.
Okay. So that's good. That's really good. Like I think that's a big feather in his cap.
Yeah, lost in the Rose Bowl, finished number 7 in the country. 11-3 was the final record there. 8-1 within the Big Ten.
It is similarly.
Sound like me over there.
Similarly tough to win a Big Ten championship in the age of Ohio State dominance as it is an SEC championship in the age of Alabama dominance.
I would say a feather kind of in the cap of James Franklin. You started last year 0-5.
Yes.
And you rolled off 4 straight victories.
Yeah.
And so this was hey, all right, there's some things on the line. Let's see what you do. And they're 5-1. Right? You're able to have that bad season. Let's call it like it is. I mean, and we know what last year was, but still, you started 0-5. You roll off 4 victories in a row. Now you're 5-1 right now. So you didn't allow that to last for 2 seasons. He's 65-29 at Penn State, and we're talking about playing in a Rose, a Fiesta, and a Cotton Bowl.
Okay, there's Omaha trips.
Those are Omaha trips.
Right, there you go. There's 3 Omaha trips. He won at Vanderbilt.
He was 24-15 at Vanderbilt. That's more impressive than the Omaha.
Yeah, so definitely, like Franklin feels like the best resume right now. I mean, maybe outside of a Jimbo, but you're not going to go Jimbo. So it's like, this is where it's going to be so hard for us to judge this stuff outside looking in, is we're not going to be in those interviews, in those meetings. We're not going to see the pitches from these guys about what they could potentially bring to LSU. And at the end of the day, this is Scott Woodward really having to bet on himself. And it's kind of wild because I've always thought that, like, ideally, if you look at Woodward's history, like the Mulkey hire, he wants to hire someone whose resume is untouchable. And guess what? If it goes wrong, you can't come at me. Yeah. Like the resume, I mean, what do you want me to do? Like, it was perfect. In baseball, you couldn't get that. So you take, you kind of take a bet on Jay Johnson, and it feels very good early on. Very good early on. Baseball still got to be played, obviously. Who are they going to take a bet on in football? And make no mistake, Woodward knows. I mean, that's the legacy stuff, right? That's like, you're the new AD. This is your guy trying to transition out of this national championship in an unprecedented kind of weird 2-year downfall, trying to right the ship. Like, everything in Scott Woodward's career comes down to this moment. Everything has been leading up to this moment where he is now the AD at his alma mater. He has, I think, very shrewdly handled what could have been a disastrous, potentially explosive coaching change situation, and now he has to go find his guy, and hiring is one of the hardest things you can do on this earth, right? Talent evaluation. You see it all the time. Top prospects go bust or boom. Top draft picks go bust or boom. Coaches go bust or boom. And so it's an unenviable position to be in, but I'm sure if you were to talk to Scott, there's nowhere else he'd rather be. Like, this is what he does, what he's been doing his entire life.
A lot of people asking
People
about
say Joe Brady. Like, how is Joe Brady more qualified than like a Mel Tucker? Stop chasing the Joe Brady ghost, damn it.
And Joe will tell you Joe ain't trying to recruit. I mean, he'll tell you loudly. I think he said it at the coaches convention this year. Like, he is not trying to recruit. But
Hell no.
Luke Fickell, a lot of people asking about him, and I never want to speak in absolutes here. That one feels like it is a reach because of where he's from and what he wants to do. And he's all, the rumor's always been Ohio State or Notre Dame or staying at Cincinnati. And they're about to be in the Big 12. So he's at Cincinnati. They're giving him whatever he wants. They're about to be in the Big 12. And so he potentially could be one of those guys that just stays at Cincinnati. That one feels like it would be very hard to get him from a region that he feels very comfortable with and seems to enjoy. So I don't even know if that would be an option.
So it's interesting. A lot of people saying Billy Napier. The thing about Billy Napier to me, while he has done an objectively great job in a very tough spot where he took over UL, if you're going to go there, like, why is he more attractive than Chadwell? Right?
Yeah,
if you're
Jamie
gonna,
Chadwell, exactly.
Like, why would you not
Coastal.
go to, like, the guy who's actually taken a school that just started football, it's supposed to be horrible, and made them the Sun Belt power? Like, UL's good, Coastal Carolina is better. I mean, you're not putting, like, that much weight on relationship. Like just the fact that Billy Napier has experience in Louisiana does not overcome, I think, what Chadwell has accomplished. So that's my kind of logical break with Napier is simply, if you're going there, why would you not go Chadwell, who has done just really blown away every level of expectation on level. That would be if you're getting pretty far down the list, though, I think, especially at that point. But again, so the overall point, I don't think there's going to be a resume that's going to make you very happy. This is something that's going to be borne out over time, and it'll be how that person handles, like again, so because it's the other hire Woodward made, like, look at how Jay Johnson carried himself those first few days, right?
Yeah.
He immediately inspired confidence in the press conference. He made the splash recruiting news, getting Jacob Berry to come in. He's up there 24/7 working. Everybody you talk to around there, he's done a really good job of politically navigating the situation where everybody who matters, like former players, other baseball guys, they're all like, I love him, right? Like, he's won all these guys over, right? So whoever the next guy is can help himself out in that regard a lot, because again, I think there's going to be detractors no matter what, given that there's just no home run number one with a bullet coaching Wunderkind or old champion that you're gonna go after.
It also, I mean, something that is obvious, like if James Franklin is your guy, well, Penn State cares a lot about football as well, and so then you start getting into potentially a bidding war, and this thing is going to have many different branches to it, as we all know, and that's why you decide, again, to do it at this time, right, wrong, or indifferent, because you want to have the time to be able to have those things pop up and see if you can handle them.
That, somebody gonna get paid.
Oh,
with LSU and USC available, and the fact that you are going to target coaches that are already beloved by their school, somebody getting paid, man. So shout out to
from that area, and if that, I'm just saying, like, if that's like Luke Fickell, like we're talking about, like he loves that region, like he is an Ohio State guy, So
shout out to all the agents out there. Good for you.
Yeah, great for you, actually.
I say all the agents. It's probably all just Jimmy Sexton. Like, he's just everybody's agent.
For the most part.
And he just makes millions and millions of dollars. All right. Yeah, and also, I've seen this thought floated around by a few different people, and I do think this is true. There's also an element of be very careful believe anything at this point, because it is agent seeding rumors time.
Yeah, Peter Burns had a tweet. I had to look it up exactly what he said, but it was kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, he was one of the people that I saw talking about this. Yeah. He just said, look, like anything you hear here early on is being floated by a lot of agents trying to get, use LSU as leverage to get extensions, maybe price raise, all that and more. You know what? You know what'd be hilarious? If A&M ends up paying Jimbo like $12 million a year. Like just keep bumping them up. They go like 4-4 in the SEC and they pay $12 million. That'd be great.
Yeah.
All right, another long segment when we get back. Do you think we'll continue with the coaching? Do we want to talk about the game itself?
Let's let it happen organically.
Okay, unless something sparks our interest. I feel like we kind of put a bow on the coaching search stuff for now. So I think we get into the game next, unless one of y'all has a really insightful comment. All right, more Off the Bench coming up, 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to DonaldSonGlassandBody.com, DonaldSonGlassandBody.com. Remember, at DG&B, when you get in an accident, the police cannot tell you who gets a tow. The insurance company cannot tell you where to go. The answer to both is Donaldson Glass and Body. Why? The body shop's the best in the state. I will put that on anything. And how about this? Customer service, the convenience of the highest order. All collision repair, free pickup and delivery on collision repair if you're in the listening area. So I don't care where you are. You can't get down to Donaldsonville. You're busy. You got a dent or something that needs to get fixed or whatever the case may be. You call up D-Volt. They pick it up. They fix it. They drop it back off to you. Again, the pickup, drop-off, delivery, free when it comes to collision repair.
And trust me when I say this, throughout the entire process, the entire thing, they're going to be transparent because we've all been there when they just assume and they just fix things and then you get a bill and it's way more than you expected. They're going to call you, tell you exactly what's wrong, tell you how much it is to fix it. Then they will fix it on your car and they get it fixed the first time. DGBauto.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Join us for Monday's edition of Hunt and Hill. The Tigers and Gators are done. We'll be reacting to it after Ed Ogeron takes the mic. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
She'll put a spell on you. She'll put a spell on you. of New Orleans.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What up, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. OT. Shout out if you're watching right now. Pushing 700. Suddenly you get to 300 likes. Make Danny eat that chili out of shoe on Friday. Keep pushing. 255 right now. Go ahead and hit the like button.
Whose shoe?
I don't know. So I don't really want to put chili in the Blazers. These are the first cool shoes I've owned in like 10 years.
Yeah, I've got my OBJs
I
on.
thought we were
Don't
doing
want chili in there.
I thought we were a team. You got to do it for the team, Mark.
All right,
Team,
you're right,
T-Bob.
Danny. But we called you TDP, so you're going to set a record, and you're gonna do it, and you're going to do your shoe. Great idea, Danny.
We're going to use your blazer.
Danny, I'm very happy that you helped us get to this solution. Thank you. You're really being a team player today. I'm very proud of you.
I'm eating it out of the blazer. It's already decided.
No chance. No chance. Okay, so enough about potential hires. None of you gave me anything insightful like I was looking for during the break.
Wow. You've been hanging around with somebody too much.
No, I just
dismissing people.
No, I mean where what was said this commercial break that was
I'm actually
said?
frozen because
okay. I was
my
gonna
computer's
say,
from 20. What we decided 2016 or 15.
It's old.
It's old.
It's old. It's you're gonna be like I was when I had one of those old Mac laptops and I went in to get it fixed, and they told me, "Sir, this is technically vintage equipment, and we don't work on it." And I was like, "Wow, it's like 5 years, you bums, Mac. You planned obsolescence, manipulative." But that's a different conversation. You know what else happened this weekend? You beat Florida for the third year in a row, 49-42. Double-digit dog, and it didn't matter. Missing everybody. Which, this is kind of a funny place to start, Jake, is that a lot of people are wondering, oh, man, what was up with the defense? Like, we couldn't stop anybody. You're down like 6 starters. Like, of course your defense didn't look great. You're missing half of it. Yeah. You should just be happy for the defense you had. I mean, they made the plays, right? Whether it was the picks to set up the touchdowns, the pick to end the game with Damone Clark. The fact that the defense kind of kept you in early on, because this is where I would start. If we start to talk about the game itself, Jake, is that this start, if you go and rewatch it, and I don't know how many people have forgotten this because how it ended, it felt horrible at the beginning. Anthony Bradford goes down play one, kind of throw your hands up, you're like, oh, of course, right?
Right.
Nothing comes from the first drive. Friggin' punt gets blocked. Now, granted, the defense did come up with a nice stop here. Mason Smith on the sack. That was great. But the offense comes back. What do? They go 3 and out. Then what does Florida do? They get the ball. They drive right down. They score a touchdown. They make it look easy, right? And at this point, I remember typing out, like, Dan Mullen is about to feast on Durante Jones. And I thought that would be the case. And granted, while maybe ended up being a little bit in the second half, it did not play out like how I thought it would.
You had it typed out, but you didn't send it?
Well, I had it not as a tweet, kind of in my notes. And then I ended up thinking that it actually wasn't that true. But so to have that beginning where you do nothing on offense, looks like one of your guys get hurt, pump blocked, defense comes up to stop, another 3 and out, then they go down and score. It felt like, all right, whatever. This is going to play out exactly how we thought it would. Florida's the much better team. And that's where this team showed elite mental toughness. And it was mental toughness that carried throughout the day. So they overcame the horrible beginning. The penalties that took away some huge offensive plays in the second quarter when you were looking to land haymakers. The Hail Mary at the end of the first half, which could have been a potential backbreaker. The continuous scoring of touchdowns in the second half. LSU, every time they were hit, they kept hitting back. And at a time when your mentality and your team makeup should have been brittle and should have been easy to break, that resilience, I think, is something to be celebrated.
All right, now, with this comment, just know that I'm not comparing these two, but this was the first time in a while, offensively for LSU, it felt like you can score, that's fine, because we started with one more score than you did, and you're not going to be able to catch up.
Yeah.
Like, it really had that feel to it. And we've seen some games in 2019 where the other team would have some success against your defense, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because we got the lead, and we're going to score now every single time we have the ball. Like, even like the Ole Miss game, you end up winning by 3 touchdowns. Like, and John Rice Plumlee's running up and down the field, and it was alarming, but it's like, we're going to score every time we get it as well. Same thing against Alabama that year. Like, every time we get it, we're going to score. Yep. Like, they can't do anything to stop us. And let me tell you, there is not a better feeling in the game of football than when you know you're running it, they know you're running it, hell, the entire stadium knows you're running it, and they can't do a damn thing about it. There's not a better feeling. You were in 4-minute offense basically the entire game, and they couldn't stop it. I mean, there was a point in the fourth quarter, Max hadn't thrown a pass, and it didn't matter.
It was so that one. It was literally 15 plays in a row. The 4th and 1 touchdown, which was chef's kiss play design with the fake play action boot into the little awkward. It looked awkward because it's complicated footwork, right? He has to fake it, act like he's going to boot it, then flip back around and throw to Dre Jenkins leading out the backside. That was the first pass of the fourth quarter. I think it was 15 runs before that.
Yeah, and Jack Besh was the target initially, and that was a baller ball play by Max Johnson.
Wait, so that wasn't all by design?
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
No, he's part of the route concept.
I thought that was all a very much planned fake, like a fake naked boot that you then turn around on.
He turned around because Britton Cox had kind of gotten free.
Yeah,
and he saw him because
wow, I was giving too much credit. I thought this was all just.
But that's part. Like I said, it's part of the route concept. That the fact that Jure stays alive. I asked Jure. I said, "How many times have you caught that ball in practice?" Because ghost motion, like you never throw it to that guy. He said that's the first time.
See, that's why I thought it was like I thought that was like their gadget play. Like this is like the 4th and 1, the fake boot. I
thought they were running. I think everybody in the stadium thought they were running it, and Jack Besh was the initial target. He was covered up. So Max sees Cox is coming, spins around, and let me tell you.
So huge credit to Max Johnson.
Let me tell you how hard that throw is. Think about this: you're a left-handed quarterback rolling to your right, and you're hitting a moving target that's on the same level as you.
Yeah,
that is a very difficult throw that could have gone a lot of different ways. So shout out to both those guys for the concentration to be able to get it done. But yeah, to your point, that was the first pass. You dictated the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Like you big boyed them. Like they scored 42 points in AR-15. My God, that's a big boy. That is a big boy. It's going to play for a long time.
What is Dan Mullen doing?
Yeah, and Emory. Look, we can get to that dynamic, but. That was the best feeling, and the fact that they couldn't do anything to stop it, and you let them know who the alpha was in that game. Like you let them know. I'm telling you, there's just not a better feeling when you know everybody in the stadium knew TDP was getting that ball every single time.
Yeah,
and they couldn't stop it. Like you imposed your will on them, and we haven't seen that.
No, we haven't. And so when we get back. Let's talk about that, right? The question that I keep getting asked, the question that our own boss, Flynn Foster, was texting us about, like what happened? Like how, like I was at a kid's birthday party in Lafayette yesterday. People get asking me, like, how in the world did you go from being so completely ineffective and feckless when running the ball to looking like the bullies and looking dominant on Saturday? Like I said, I think there's 3 things, and we'll talk about them next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to GEAUXroof.com, GEAUXroof.com. 927-8300 is the number. Go Roof is the company. And look, the reason why they spell that way is because they're from here. Okay, these are Louisiana guys. They understand what that means, and they understand that all they want to do at the end of the day is take care of the community and their roofing needs. That's why they offer free professional estimates, okay? Doesn't cost you anything to have them come out, look at your roof, and let you know exactly where you stand. So even if you're just like, maybe you don't know that you have any roofing issues. Maybe you just want to know what's going on after the storms, after the summer. Is there anything you need to be concerned about? Find out for free by calling 927-8300. Then you make a fully informed decision about what to do. Of course, everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured, and a 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty, right? So you have peace of mind after work is done. They stand by the quality of their work. So you want a beautiful new roof every shingle time? Call 927-8300, him with the roof stop. Go Roof.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Thanks, you're ready. Yardbirds up. Veggie's in the window.
Barbecue guys, born to grill.
Pops, how many steaks you want?
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Florida. Cole Kubelik will be with us to recap the weekend in the SEC. And the Saints are finally off their bye. We're talking about it 3 to 6. 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
You know, T, I had a Florida Gator fan, I guess it's listening to the show, wants to, for some reason, listen to Baton Rouge radio after Florida goes down to LSU, and he asked, okay, you're cherry picking the 9 of last 12, 3 out of the last 4, and 4 of the last 5. So let's go 20-year sample size.
Okay.
In the last 20 years, 20 meetings, LSU's won 13 out of the last 20. Look, I understand what the series was before that, but I think 20 years, pretty good sample size. You're not cherry picking anything there.
No, and 3 years in a row, in case you forgot. Twice as double-digit dogs when you had no business winning. Dan Mullen now 2-6 in his last 8 against the Power 5.
I mean, 7 of the last 9.
Boy.
I mean, wait, 7 of 9, 9 of 12, 13 of 20. We can go wherever.
You hate to see it. Also, yeah, you want an idea of how scary hiring coaches is? Jimbo Fisher was staring at 0-3 in the SEC in the face, and Dan Mullen's now 2-6 against Power 5 his last 8. Like, it's hard, man, because you all think of them as good coaches. Like, a lot of people would be happy with either one of them as the head man at LSU, and they're not immune to struggle either. Remember, Jimbo's supposed to have a top 5 team. Anyway, let's talk about the LSU rushing attack, Jake, and get to the 3 things that I believe led to this change. I want to hear your thoughts on it. First, a better understanding of the players and what they do well, right? So the scheme standpoint is first. And there's been some anecdotes that I've heard about, like Jack Marucci getting involved in this front.
Yes.
And he presented the team with a bunch of data that says, look, this is what the data says y'all are good at.
TDP actually credited Jack Marucci in his post-game press conference.
Wow.
So everybody knows Jack to be the longtime trainer, but now he's really the analytics side of things, and he has broken it down to, in these formations, you have this run success, and in these formations, you have this run success. And obviously, you need a sample size to be able to do that with a new coordinator. And like, if you're analytics and that's your thing, you have to have coaches that listen to those analytics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they can't just like throw them on their desk, throw it in the trash can. And Cody and I talked a lot about it after the game on the Hurry Up. Like, Jack does this, and the coaches are actually looking at it and listening to it. And so, part of that goes into it as well.
So, okay, so I think first and foremost, scheme, right? Jack, Pete, better understand what they have, committing to the run from a scheme standpoint. I mean, did you see Garrett Dellinger as the jumbo tight end quite a few times, which I thought was interesting, get an extra big body in there. They had 3 first downs where they ran on 3rd or 5 and more, and they converted all 3 of them. That takes some play calling nuts to call a run in that situation, and they did. So scheme first. Second, the offensive line just continuing to gel. These are guys, it was a rotating door early on. I believe this is the 3rd week in a row now where you've had everybody.
Yep.
Right? Cam Wire came back 2 weeks ago.
And you have spring practice for a reason. You have two-a-days for a reason. You have summer workouts for a reason. And you build chemistry through that time.
Yeah.
And LSU was building chemistry in the spring with a different offensive line coach. They were trying to build chemistry in summer, fall camp, and they never had their bodies. Guys were missing practice, and that's why it was so crucial. And we talked about it. Look, if you can practice, you got to practice, because even though you've played together, in years past, every team is different. Every year is different. And on the offensive line, like, you build that chemistry. And I honestly think that's some of the reason why the combination blocks weren't working, because you never had a good feel of how to work together. Now, you can speak to that way better than I can.
You're right. That's what I'm talking about, gelling, right? I mean, more time on task together. An offensive line ideally operates like a fist, right? And every guy is a different finger, and you want to be working in unison. And if you don't have the time on task, it's hard to. I think this continued gelling and the scheme also started to put the players in positions that they're better at, because that's the only way I can explain what Ed Ingram did this game. Because my man went off. Like, out of nowhere, just looked like Ed Ingram, the NFL prospect again.
Yeah.
From a guy that looked like the Monstars had stolen his powers to now looking like Charles Barkley, and like, he was dominant. It was great to see. A bit later on, we'll break down the 1 touchdown run where he killed a guy. Because did you see the setup where Mashburn acts like he's going to block him and then drops inside, and then basically Ingram comes and just ear holes him?
So that has long been one of my favorite plays, in the fact that you can run it on power, you can run it on counter. When you have that lead guy, what you're doing is you're trying to affect the guy who's over you enough, right? So you're trying to make him flinch just a little bit, get his eyes on you just for a little bit, and then you're going to the next level. And by the time he realizes, oh crap, he's getting ear-holed. And now you have to have a tight end that doesn't give that away. You have to have a tight end that doesn't engage with that player. You have to step towards him, avoid him, which is not always easy, because you're going
running a route, but for blocking.
Because you're going to the next level, and you've got to have the wherewithal to be able to know that you've got to get to that guy before he shoots the gap as well. Jack Mashburn, shout out to you. St. Paul, stand up. Let's go, because that young man has made a difference in the running game.
Well, now we arrive at the 3rd point, which is Jack mother-flipping Mashburn, dude.
Oh, God.
Oh, my. I was scared to say
Mario's dead.
I was a little scared to say it. Okay. So what we're talking about here, if you're watching online, replay that, Danny. Look at Mashburn. Set up the defensive end here like he's going to block him. Then, like a route release, he cuts inside of him. He still gets his man on the second level. I mean, that is perfect. And then watch what Ed Ingram does to him, because he set up, boom, kill shot.
Hell of a block by Cam Wire there as well. But for Jack to do that, because a lot of young tight ends who haven't played a lot of football, okay, so ideally you'd like to go on the outside of him probably if you can when he's playing this kind of technique. But the fact that he puts his foot in the ground,
But
doesn't
that's
panic.
great. I mean, he set him up like a
He
route.
set him up, yeah.
It's like watching Justin Jefferson run a route and how he just like because he got his moving kind of the outside, so that's why he ends up cutting up in, and then Ingram and Wire were perfect with pull. But that's the third reason. Jack Mashburn, man, it's not just that he's an upgrade, Jake. He is a damn good blocker.
Yeah.
Like it's not just that, he's good relative to what you had. He's good relative to anyone.
Yeah.
Like in pass pro,
That's fair.
in run blocking, the guy just looks like a badass.
Yep.
And he has a neck roll, so pretty
Come
badass. Yeah.
Be still my heart.
Put that
Got a
man on
cowboy collar.
scholarship yesterday.
Yes.
Put him on scholarship immediately. He is the main correlating factor in terms of changes that were made from a personnel standpoint. He is the main correlating factor to the success that LSU has had running the ball.
Yep.
And if you watch the film, it's easy to see why. He's dominating his guy every play almost.
It is very easy to see why. And you are running gap schemes, which have so many moving parts. And you're wondering, why didn't they do this early? Well, they had to figure out exactly what they could do. And look, let's call it like it is. Like, Cole Taylor's a scholarship guy. And you have Jack Best, and you have this weapon. So you're trying to figure out the tight end position. And, Mashburn's come in, and he has taken over that position. Now, Jack Best is certainly still going to play because of what he can do catching the football, but it's and then everything, like all parts of this have to work. Jack has to get his blocks. The pullers have to be good, which they've been fantastic in their decision making. And then TDP, the patience on a counter run, you have to be patient because like old school counter, like you're 7.5 yards deep, you taking the 1-2 step over, and then you're coming back. In a gun run, like it's a little bit different. So after you get the football, you have to be patient, set everything up, and then hit the hole once it's there.
Yeah, I think also while we're talking offensive line, today or Saturday was a good take a deep breath. The future has a little bit more juice than maybe we've been paying it as. And I am as guilty of this as anyone. But Anthony Bradford started to look pretty damn solid at left tackle. Not that I think that his future lies at tackle, but he's played well. And, bro, Marlon Martinez.
He played well.
He might end up being your starting right guard by the end of this season. I know correlation isn't always causation, but he was the right guard on the majority of the good drives that LSU had. And, we've been begging and praying to see these young guys show up. So, look, Bradford played well. Marlon Martinez played well. Although it was in spot duty, the true freshman Dellinger looked nice. So, okay, there's 3 bodies there.
Yeah.
We can work with this. There's a little more hope there. You know about the recruiting class coming in. We talk all about the transfer portal and how you can get better immediately.
Spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's development. And credit to Brad Davis as well. And this whole line. That's probably another, actually, I said the 3 core points. That's probably like a 3B is simply that Coach Davis just had more time on task for these cats because they basically went through a midseason coaching change and an extreme stylistic change. Yeah. And that takes a while to work out, okay, who's going to rise, who's going to fall, who works best.
There was a great moment in the locker room after the game. Jake Peets is kind of coming out, and I don't think he'd mind me saying this, and he sees Brad Davis in the hallway, and he just kind of gives him one of those hits on the chest and gives him a hug. He's like, that's the hard work that y'all have been putting in. And that's all he said to him. He's like, that's the grind. That's the hard work that y'all have been putting in. And it was a great moment to kind of see that because obviously that's been the position that we have just honed in on because, look, call like it is. They played poor early in the year. Now they're putting in a different position and they're thriving. It's kind of good to see them rise up from the ashes because, man, they were as low as any position group maybe in the country.
Yeah, they're much maligned. But again, we critique when criticism's due and we give credit when credit is due. And all the credit in the world to LSU, that's the thing. It wasn't fluky. They played objectively well. Like they got push throughout the night. Ed Ingram was coming out of his hips like I have not seen him do all season long. He was blowing guys up. And so it is a fascinating commentary on putting guys in the right positions, everything you always talk about in coaching that's hard to achieve, maximizing strengths, minimizing weaknesses. You saw it pay huge dividends on Saturday, and now you've got a new all-time leading rusher in a year where you were like 125th. It doesn't make any sense. It's wild. I've never seen anything like it. And it results in a 49-42 Florida loss. Sorry, Dorian. I mean, I saw the video of you in the stadium right after the game. Sorry, Dorian. All right, we got to go to break. We're going to go to break, but I do want you to flex on Chris a little bit later.
Yeah, don't worry.
Also, look for all your anti-aging needs. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. That's RejuveMeMedical.com. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. You want to feel younger, better energy, better mental disposition, clarity, lose tough fat, all of that. Feel like your best self with Rejuve Me Medical. More off the bench on the other side. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols.
It's week 7 in the prep football season, and we get you started Friday night with Louisiana Prep Preview presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. And then starting at 10 o'clock, it's a full 2 hours of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on YouTube, CST, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm
All Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, Connor Brooks nailed it. Chili in a shoe, 300 likes. Should we use Cole Taylor's shoe? Maybe, Danny. Okay.
I actually have a pair, not the cleat, obviously that should be in the Smithsonian, but
yeah.
I have a cleat very similar. It's all about the content.
I have my grass cutting shoes I wouldn't mind making meat out of, and that's pretty nasty.
I bet you've got some like New Balances for grass cutting.
No, my little brother gave them to me. They were some runoff merch from when he was working at UNO, and they're the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. I think they might be Under Armour, but they're the ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. So, Danny, congratulations to you. Dan will be eating Skyline chili that's been cooking in my car for like 2 months now, out of a shoe this Friday. Are we excited, Dan?
D-Bob, you're joining in.
My dude, you got it, bro.
Mario too.
Can't wait. Oh, wow. More OTB
Off
next
the
hour.
Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to GoTroseOutdoorPower.com, GoTroseOutdoorPower.com. Look, your number one Hustler equipment dealer in Louisiana. You know that. We talk about that every day. I'm a hustler, baby. And all that.
I want you to know.
I want you to know that if you want to buy from Go Troes Outdoor Power because you're going to get things you don't get anywhere else. I'm talking about pickup and drop-off delivery service, full access to a service department, full access to a parts department. So if anything breaks down, you're good, man. You're good. You're taken care of. So it doesn't matter if you're in the landscaping business or just doing this for you, casually at home. You still want to buy from Go Troes Outdoor Power.
Yeah, you need to go to GoTroesOutdoorPower.com. Check out that Hustler equipment. It's right there on the homepage. You search it, you're going to see residential, commercial. They've got you covered. Power equipment as well. Remember, free delivery in the state of Louisiana. So check that out. That's part of the thing that they offer over at GoTros. GoTroesOutdoorPower.com. GoTros, we make it easy.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back North Airway off of Airline Highway.
Tonight, we invite you to celebrate life, wherever and whenever you can, understanding that time is never on our side. Instead, gather up your friends tonight and share a few stories and laughs over a good bottle of wine. Or maybe a family meal that gives everyone a chance to reconnect and remember what's really important, whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or simply to remind someone special that they are loved. Rafino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. on Monday, October 18th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect to see cloudy skies with a high of 75. In case you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can now catch that up at the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. Remember, you can follow today's show on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, or watch us live on YouTube for new content posted every day. You can also check us out on CST. OTB, OT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
What up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. Great work there, Dan, on the Strange Things intro. Good job, boys, remembering. So Jake, if you're watching online, he has his phone pointed at one of the television screens here in the studio, and it is because his co-host on Pregame in the SEC, which is a podcast y'all should all download and subscribe to, and also co-worker at many different times, Chris Doring. He is a Florida grad, obviously, and there was a bet made, as there is every year on LSU Florida, where if he did not win, I don't know how y'all landed here, but he has to come dressed up as a yodeler, like a yodel, like one of those like yodelers. And it appears that he will be stepping onto the SEC network set at any time, as Peter Burns is getting his phone out as well. And if you like the that intro, that was all Danny Cardenas. So great job, Danny. And your reward is chili and a shoe. All right, coming up this hour, we have not done our weekend winners yet, and there is Dorian. I mean, he looks great in it, though, because he's so shredded. Look at him, dude. I mean, that's a sexy yodeler. I would let him yodel for me without a doubt. That was awkward, whatever that little dance maybe just did was. All right, but back to our radio listening audience. Okay, because of Oktoberfest thing, Cortland Jacobs saying, I guess that makes sense. Is that what it is?
Good. This is so good, because for 2 years, Doring definitely thought that PB was going to have to be, last year was a Tiger King, this year a yodeler. It's so good, and I think this is 2 years in a row that they've gotten PB size in the costume, thinking that Florida was going to win the game, and no, CD has to wear it.
Yeah, double-digit dogs 2 years in a row. Okay, so that actually rolls into, and we're going to get to weekend winners this hour as well, because there was more than just LSU this weekend. But that does roll into, Jake, one of the other parts I wanted to make about this game, which is, okay, how do you create an upset like this? How do you create an upset where you're a double-digit dog, you're missing all your best players, like a game that you have no right in winning? How do you do that? You maximize your opportunity. And that's what LSU did this game. And I know that the defense ended up really struggling by the end of the game, obviously, right? We all saw it. They really struggled. But they did provide the offense and the team with a lot of opportunity. I mean, the picks in the first half to set up touchdown drives, what an excellent job that was by the team as a whole. First, the defense creating the opportunity, and then again, the offense maximizing it by finishing off the drives, putting it in the end zone, essentially creating 3 pick sixes. when it's all said and done. And even though the defense in the Hail Mary was inexcusable before half, and we can break that down in a second.
Boy, oh boy.
For Dwight McGlothern to come out the second half and to immediately, basically just on the ledger sheet, erase it.
Yeah.
Because you get the pick six, that was massive. That was maximizing your opportunity. So that's how LSU was able to win this game, is even at times when they weren't in a great rhythm. Like when they scored off those interceptions, they were not playing great offensively at that time.
Right.
They started playing great in the second half, but situationally, they did exactly what they needed to do to maximize Florida's mistakes. And even though you're probably a better team than LSU overall, I mean, you could have that argument. I don't know. But Florida, if you play 10 times, Florida probably wins more than you do. I'm guessing. I could be wrong.
Whatever. They didn't win Saturday.
They didn't win Saturday. But that's how you do that, is by taking advantage of what you're giving. And think about it, no one dropped any easy picks, right? It wasn't like, the ball tipped on me. I dropped. No, like every time you had a chance, it seemed like LSU stepped through that door.
I'll tell you what, there's something to say, and I don't know the reasoning for this, but this is 2 years in a row when your star players have gone out, you've played better. There's something to say about guys getting their opportunity and making the most out of that opportunity and playing with a reckless nature to their game. Like you're going for broke. You don't really care. You're going to do the things that you're supposed to do, but you're going to play free, loose, and a little bit wild.
Well, you're not upset. You're happy to play because you've been trying to find the field. You're not
you don't
like
think Cordell Flott appreciated being an outside corner?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right? Not a nickel or a safety?
Appreciate's the correct word.
Yeah.
You appreciate the opportunity. Sometimes when you're a long-term starter, you can kind of start to take some of these things for granted because your expectation is to play. You're used to playing. When you're on the other side of that, it instills a hunger in you that I think you saw last 2 years. And shout out to Flott. What a great pass breakup that was, setting up the Baskerville interception, which kind of kick-started things for LSU.
I mean, it's 2 years in a row. Dwight McGlothern, I know he played a ton when Stingley and Ricks were still there, but obviously getting way more run now that he's made the most of it. And, I mean, offensively, there's a couple of guys that have made the most of it. And you get these chances, the opportunity to go out there and your back's against the wall and all those cliches that we talk about, but they've done it and they've played well. And you got to credit the players, the coaches for getting them ready to be in that moment. And for Dwight McGlothern, like when you mentioned the Hail Mary, it was not great. Like Cam Lewis is looking at nothing. He's got his back to the defense and really guarding no one. Jay Ward's kind of going for the interception and not the pass breakup. And then Dwight allows him to push off. The receiver pushes off, but then we know they're never going to call that, right?
Yeah.
So you weren't as aggressive as you wanted to be, and you allowed a play to happen that could have had a big shift in the game. Like when it happened, I think a lot of us thought, like momentum just died right then because you were going to go up 2 scores.
Yeah.
They get that. They get the ball coming out, and then what do?
And you combine it with all the second quarter huge plays taken away with penalties, which burned you.
Because of all the things we've got going on here on this show, we have not talked about it. The fact that Florida had 0 penalties, not 1 penalty, and one you're able to win the game because they had 4 turnovers, but and every penalty called on you was normally a backbreaker.
Bro,
you're talking about giant plays that were called
now, granted, look, the covering up of the receiver, he was covered up. That's a horrible mental mistake. You can't do that. That's just bad on LSU. The holding that took away the 75-yard touchdown, the hand was outside the framework. I'm biased. I like O-line. I like LSU, but that's probably the right call. I thought the wide receiver holding was incredibly ticky-tack. I thought that was pretty pathetic.
Oh, my.
I thought that was pathetic.
I typically try to, whatever. I try to stay cool on the sidelines. I almost wanted to run on the field and tackle that referee.
So like
that was very good job of blocking downfield.
So combining those penalties and missed opportunities, then with that Hail Mary, that felt like, okay, here you go. Bad teams find ways to lose, and LSU just blew it. So again, back to what we started this all with, Jake, the mental toughness displayed by this team was really something to get very excited about. And on the Hail Mary, okay, just from a learning standpoint, am I right in saying, like why are you playing the man as heavily as they were playing in that situation? You know where the ball's going. Like the ball has to end up in the end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be so worried about draping the receiver. Just wait for the ball to go up in the air and then go to the ball. And then obviously Jay Ward tried to knock it down and try to pick it, but like,
right.
But it's not just Jay Ward.
No.
Multiple guys should have been there. Like McLaughlin. Now he made up for it.
He did.
But he's draping the guy.
Yeah.
Like he started on the goal and he allowed himself to get behind him.
Yeah.
Like what's that about? Just watch the ball.
My man Cam, I'm going to ask Cam when I see him, what were you defending? You were looking at the crowd and the receiver was in front of you.
Also, that was a hell of a throw.
No, I mean, it's the only place you can put it.
An insane throw into the wind for sure, but inexcusable. But to me, Jake, that's one of those plays you will never make that mistake again. No. If you're one of those guys on that field and the rest of your life playing football, you will never make that mistake again. Just be happy that you got away with it and ended up not costing you in the end.
Yeah, you're right, because that game could have had, disaster written all over it because of what we talked about. They get the ball. Again, coming out of halftime, all the momentum that you built up just completely went dead in that moment, and you kind of had this bad feeling going back into the locker room. And if you don't do what you do with Dwight McLaughlin pick six coming out, like who knows? Because obviously Florida picked it up offensively in the second half. So, yeah, that play can't ever happen, not the way that it did there. If it's a play where you play it right, it bounces around, ends up in the Florida Gators' hands in the end zone, okay, but that's too easy.
So Bilbo's saying in the chat that he thinks they lost in the sun. I don't actually think they lost in the sun. I think they literally weren't looking at the ball. I mean, watch the replay. They're all turned with their backs to the ball trying to guard the receiver, which, like right there, like why is Dwight and Cam like you said, like wow, what is Cam?
I don't know
what is Cam doing?
Dude?
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. Cam, who you?
Hey, all's well that ends well. All's well that ends well. Okay.
Hey, when you win the game and a play like that happens,
you can laugh about it.
Film room on Monday. Yes. Now Corey and Durante aren't gonna like it.
No,
but other players, oh my God.
Yeah, that's one of those situations where it's super depressing and horrible on everybody if you lose that game, but when you win, it does become a funny moment. Because, again, that's an easy-to-fix problem, so I don't want to belabor the point. Before we go to break here, Jake, come back with weekend winners. Well, I got one. What did you think about Sage Ryan?
I thought he played some really significant snaps, and I thought he was good.
Yeah,
wasn't great, but he was good. I mean, this is his first time out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? I just had a lot of people asking me. I think the same. He looked like a freshman in a lot of ways, but he did make a couple plays, and you see that he could end up being good. You see why he's a 5-star, right? You see some of the potential flash.
I think you see that pretty quickly in his game. Yes.
What about this? I got like a couple more points to make before we kind of move on from the game and get to weekend winners. What do you want? Do you have anything else that you want mentioned on the game itself and what you saw? I think Neil Farrell continues to play excellently.
He does.
He's had such a stellar year all year long.
Jaquelin Roy. I mean, look at the last interception. It's because Jaquelin Roy rushes Richardson. I don't know why. I really don't.
And the pick six. The pick six, he's the one that got Emory off the spot.
I really don't know why he doesn't get talked about more. And I'm including like us in that. Like we've brought it up like this a couple of times, but it's a player that was very highly recruited, goes to U High, and that doesn't always mean you're going to go to LSU. And in fact, there's been a lot of cases because, these kids go to LSU's campus for their entire career, and sometimes they go elsewhere for whatever reason. And this is as local gets. I mean, he went to high school on LSU's campus, and he is playing not at like a good level, an incredibly high level. One of the better players in the SEC when you look at his Pro Football Focus grade. And we need to talk about him more because he is doing exactly what he was kind of labeled as coming out of high school.
And even he, though, wasn't the highest graded D lineman for the game. That was Neil Farrell, grounded out at a 90.
Yeah.
And Neil's been great all year long. And I know I clowned him for his spin move earlier. He actually had a pretty sick one this game on the B.J. Ojolari sack. He spun so hard that he threw the guy down. B.J. Ojolari, he had a really nice game, continues to be special.
Yes.
Love seeing Mason Smith get the big sack, which is a coverage sack, but still love seeing it.
Yeah.
How about Sony Fanua, 53, making a TFL? Been too long since 5'3" made a play in Tiger Stadium. Your boy loved to see that. And I think for me, I think that's it. I think I have now made all the points I wanted to.
KMC 50 inside the Bayou 4 chat. Damone telling Jaquelin to shift right before that play. He's exactly right. He puts him like in a different position. Roy gets the pressure. Damone gets the interception. Damone Clark.
That would be the final point.
Continues to be a tackling machine. He is so much better in space. He's better in coverage. This is a guy, and I know our op father disagrees with us. He is an NFL player. He just is. And in today's NFL, his skill set matches up perfectly, and he continues to improve from what was a bad 2020 season. And I think it's starting to really show that it was because of the position he was put in and what he was being taught, and not the player himself.
Well, you're finally just seeing his freakish physical ability translate into great
And he's
play.
such a good kid. You're starting to see a little bit of piss and vinegar, too.
Yeah. Well, because he's playing confidently.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's out there getting 11. He's getting 11 tackles a game right now. He tacked on another 11 Saturday. And so, yes, you're right. Narratively, it was very fitting that he was the one that came up with a game-sealing pick. Yeah. Also, what a job by LSU being like yelling, getting the ball back.
Yeah.
I love that. We talk about 4-minute offense. And then it breaks the record, which is just the cherry on top. But I got goosebumps. To just be like, y'all aren't getting the ball back. We ain't going to sweat this thing. We're going to just run it down your throat like we've been doing the entire time.
Every person in this chat, watching us on CST, on YouTube, listening in the radio, if you played offensive football at any level, peewee, middle school, high school, college, whatever, you know what that feeling is. When you say, I'm running the football, you know it's coming, and you can't stop it. It's the best feeling in football. There's not a better feeling.
Yeah.
There's truly not, because when you get in that situation, it's who's the alpha. That's what it is. You can call it whatever it's who's the alpha. I'm the alpha. This is my field. I'm going to impose my will on you, and I dare you to try to stop me. There's not a better feeling. And she was in that mode the whole game.
Yeah,
the whole game
it's what Joe Barksdale talked about Friday. It's what he used to love about football, just breaking the man's will in front of him. By the way, Joe did a great job at stand-up Saturday night or Friday night. It was very fun. Shout out the station.
Yeah, I got a chance to catch up with him a little bit more after the show, man. One of the most interesting people you'll meet.
Yes, absolutely. All right, when we get back here on OTB, let's do a little weekend winners next. Keep it locked.
OTB, OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Whether you're looking to buy new, you want to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle, or you get warranty coverage, things you normally get on new cars. Maybe you're looking to lease something, all different price ranges, all different quality. Like I just went in there with a number before I ended up in that 2020 Camry, which I'm really loving. Maybe you're just looking to rent cheaper than your traditional rental companies. It's all right there at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. Go see them off of Airline, or go kind of start your journey at the website, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Yeah, once you get to the site, you're going to see so many different options. We've talked about it. Now is the perfect time to trade in your vehicle. You're going to get great value for it. It's always the perfect time to buy new from All-Star Toyota. And also, you can check out the rental. So per day pricing, the minimum is 2 hours. So even if you need it for like 6 hours, you can do that, return it to them. You're going to get great pricing on that. So go check out the website. T gave it to you, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com for all the different options, and you're going to drive away incredibly happy. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Join us for Monday's edition of Hunt and Hill. The Tigers and Gators are done. We'll be reacting to it after Ed Ogeron takes the mic. Hunt and Hill, noon to 2 weekdays on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. T-Bob, Jake, Mario, and Danny hanging out with you on this. Oh, by the way, beautiful Monday morning. I mean, full scoops in the air, boys. Full scoops. Don't know how long it's here for, but full scoops of fall over the weekend.
Yes.
It was amazing yesterday. You got to go to a kid's birthday party in Lafayette. You know what makes it a lot better? Really nice weather outside. So actually, and shout out to the Durasic clan. Happy birthday, Grace. It was awesome. We had a very good time yesterday.
Oh, I forgot to ask you. You said you were going to Lafayette for a birthday party.
Your boy had a full weekend. Your boy had a full weekend. Straight from, all of Friday's work. So I get done with the houses around 5. I had to do some quick grocery shop for the weekend. Then we went to the Harry Potter party at Jay Parker's house, which was awesome. Shout out. From there, rolled over to watch a little comedy with Joe. Shout out that. Saturday morning, I was at Don Juan at 11 a.m. Right at the start, man, hanging out, watching the game. Rolled that into watching that crazy Ole Miss Tennessee game that night.
Oh.
Me and my boy Willie B. Will Blackwell took down a fifth of Whistle Pig. Rolled straight from that
guys
into a Sunday birthday party.
Now he's even talking like what he was drinking and like giving the brand of what he was drinking. Oh my god.
Oh, I mean, bro, I'm not. Look, I don't have a refined. I don't have a palate like where like, I don't have a particularly refined palate. But Otter got me that Whistle Pig for the Degen Dome.
Okay, I've never heard you talk about the type of whiskeys that you were drinking.
Oh, but I talk about the mezcal all the time. So I mean, I talk about whatever I'm into at the time, and it went down smooth Saturday. That's all I'm saying. It went down pretty smooth on Saturday, and then Sunday into the kid's birthday party in Lafayette all day long, which was not bad because I just kept using I was like, oh, the princesses are here. Good. I'm going to go watch Red Zone, watch my kids, Ariel. And granted, the princesses were great. Ariel, Moana, and Elsa, y'all did great. So thank you. Let's go ahead and dive into some weekend winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right.
No, not
you can't have anyone freak out there, okay? You got to keep our composure. Got too far.
No.
I'm by winning.
I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes
That's not true.
to win a championship?
Yes, we know.
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do. What's that? Win the whole thing.
So the Braves are trying to. No Brian Cicero, not Moscona Jr., no Alex Jr. Tell the Truth Monday, T-Bob's been hanging out with Moscona too much. Mark Cumbie, T-Bob's coming Moscona. This guys, check the tape. Check the tape. I always talk about what I'm into at the time. I bragged a lot about how thankful I was for Otter getting me that some Whistle Pig last year. I don't even know if it's a bourbon or a whiskey. Okay, so how could I possibly? Okay, whoa! Now who's Moscona? Look at you!
I googled Whistle Pig.
I don't even know the difference between bourbon and whiskey.
I googled Whistle Pig. I drink if I don't drink Coors Light, which is not very often. The only thing I drink is Jameson. You know this.
I did not know that. I did not know that. That's interesting. What?
I almost called you a bad word. Every time we've ever gone out to eat.
I guess I've never like put two and two together. Okay. But you are right. Actually, now that you mention it, every time I have seen you order Jameson, so that's fair. Well, let me
Which
tell
is
you,
not like
Jameson's all right, but let me tell you about Whistle Pig. Really, what they're bringing to the table, its mouthfeel is just it's just a cut above, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I mean, I would drink Jameson if I, was an idiot.
I feel like that's something.
Oh man, my bad, Craig. Craig Granger, I'm gonna swing by the crib when he's out and laugh. He did some gator. My bad, bro. Okay, so actually, Jesse McCormick hits on my first weekend winner, and that is Purdue offensive lineman Greg Long. So not only did Purdue upset number 2 Iowa and really handled him, which, by the way, weird thing here. This is Purdue's 9th win against the number 1 or 2 team in the AP poll. 9th win against top 2 teams. Second in a row, because they beat Ohio State by double digits a few years back. No other school, I don't know if this is all time, but I think it is in the AP era. No other school has more than 4 wins against top 2 schools. So, for whatever reason, you don't want to see Purdue. But here's Purdue offensive lineman Greg Long. This is during the game. As they're beating Iowa's ass, somebody tosses him a beer from the stand. My man Stone Cold Steve Austin yucks it.
Let's go.
Crushes the can, throws it to the side. I've never seen anything that cool live in a game. Weekend winner, Greg Long.
His jersey number. It's so nice.
Oh, and his jersey number 69.
I mean, the pictures.
And he's got the full sleeve tattoo.
Which you should have. I'm kind of, I get disappointed every time that you tell that. But all right, so I agree with you, by the way. Weekend winner, yearly winner.
And you agree with me about the Jameson being?
No, I don't. All right, weekend winner, Austin Riley, the Braves' third baseman. So I put out a tweet after he had the walk-off win in Game 1 of the NLCS. You can send me all the mentions you want to with other players' names, but the Braves' Austin Riley is the National League MVP. He's been consistent this entire season and always delivers. And I framed it like that because I knew that, what about Juan Soto? What about Bryce Harper? You know what Bryce Harper and Juan Soto have in common? They've been fishing for a couple of weeks now. They didn't make the postseason. I don't care. It's a regular season award. That's great. Cool. What did you do for me throughout the entire season? It's not best player. The Hank Aaron Awards for that. It is the MVP, the most valuable player.
Yep.
And Austin Riley is the most valuable player in the National League. The Braves had injuries all over the place. Some for the year, some for an extended period of time. Their left fielder that they signed to a massive contract didn't play this year, right? Had domestic, he played a little bit, but he had a domestic situation, and we all know what that was. Azuña, we've talked about that, right? So he's out as well. Austin Riley steps up, and he bats over 300 this year, 303, scored 91 runs, 107 RBIs, 33 home runs. Oh, but what about his WAR? It's only 6.1. You missed me with all that WAR stuff, okay?
Nerd!
He is driven. By the way,
the only war I care about is fought between humans.
There you go. By the way, he had the hit that tied the game up again last night. So when the situation is the toughest, he stands the tallest. He is the National League MVP. I don't care what name you send me, and don't send me someone that their team had like 100 losses, okay? That does not speak to MVP. What were you valuable for? 100 losses? No, you're valuable because you get your team to the postseason.
What did Yeah, I don't know how the Braves did this because it felt like every storyline that I ever saw this year was just about them losing good players to injury. Wild that they're here. But, let's not count our chickens for the half. Though, the Braves, Jock Peterson, the fans, the Tomahawk Chop, Jocktober, it's all weekend winners in my book. Samara, Danny, what y'all got?
My first weekend winner is Auburn and Bo Nix. I talked a good amount of smack about this team and this quarterback, but they're low-key having a pretty good season. They beat Arkansas 38-23 on Saturday. Bo Nix, less than a month after he got benched, goes 21 for 26, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, also a 23-yard rushing touchdown. They improved to 4-2, and like I said, they're having low-key a pretty good season. I mean, they went to Penn State and competed. They went to LSU and won when they weren't supposed to. They went to Arkansas and won when they weren't supposed to. So I got to give Bo Nix and Brian Harsin both my first weekend winner entry.
It is interesting because they have done well, and I feel like I agree with everything that you've just said. But I wonder, will their record at the end of the year actually be that much better than what it was last year against Malzahn when you went 6-4 and we're okay? I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, if you talk to Auburn people, it feels like a situation where change had to be made, and Harsin does feel like he's done well. I don't know how LSU just unlocked something in Bo Nix, and now he's decided that he's a good quarterback.
Apparently.
Danny, what about you? What you got?
I'm going weekend loser for my first pick in Division
Danny.
II.
Classic hater.
Division II football. UW Lacrosse holds on to beat UW Prattville. The quarterback of UW Prattville was supposed to spike the ball, but instead he kneels. And then he realizes there's 5 seconds up the clock, so they have to hurry up and spike it, and the clock runs out, and they lose the game.
No, what a brain fart. Oh, that's actually excellent, though. I mean, I get it because you're thinking, they're both like the only 2 time things that you do, and your wires get crossed for 1 second. Oh, tough to look the boys in the eye in the locker room after that one.
Oh, what do you do? How do you come back from that?
You're like, we're at Prattville, dude. Relax. My next weekend winner, Oklahoma State. So not only did they, I don't know what the hell's wrong with Texas. They cannot hold on to a lead. It's absolutely pathetic.
You hate to see it.
The best first half team in the country. but
they'll probably make a trophy. Well,
yeah, exactly.
That's more A&M style, but they'll probably do it too.
But how about this, dude? In the fourth quarter, so not only does Oklahoma State come back, get the big win, 32-24, they outgained Texas 170-1 in the fourth quarter. Texas, how soft can you be? 1 yard?
That's a loaded question.
In the fourth quarter?
Pretty soft.
Are you kidding me? Shout out Mike Gundy in Oklahoma State.
Undefeated.
Yeah, and I don't even like Matt Gundy like that, but this makes me like some more. Actually. Like, if you're watching online, we're watching Mike Gundy do a very awkward but sincere old white guy dance in the locker room, and I appreciate it.
I feel like they're always awkward when it's like the old white guy.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they're trying to do like the gritty and stuff. I mean, he's not right here, but I don't know, man.
Yeah, no.
Put him in, give him like a twist, or what would Gundy have grown up dancing? I don't know.
What, the twist?
Yeah, it's probably pre-Gundy. That's pre-Gundy.
He'd be 70 if he was doing the twist. You can do it like the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, sure. Yes, exactly. Like
the butterfly. That's old. Let me see the Tootsie Roll.
Actually, you know what? Just go with white people's favorite songs at weddings. Just go with like Electric Slide,
Cupid Shuffle.
Like very okay. And now I step left, and then I go left again, and I go right. Okay, and now I just gotta move.
The Footloose song.
Footloose is kind of hard though.
Yeah, Footloose is hard, but yes,
but it's
a
a
song
movement there, Danny.
No, I know, but I'm sure he grew up listening to that.
Yes, he would have been prime Footloose Kevin Bacon age. I believe.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, what about you?
A guy we've talked about all show, but I definitely want to put him in weekend winners is Ty Davis Price. Ty Davis Price to me not only had the performance on the field where he set the record and all the carries that he had, and he just leaned on that Florida defense and he wanted all the smoke. I mean, he was looking for contact. He put number 16 into the graveyard. I mean, he just was running with pure passion and was not going to be denied. Like, for all those reasons, but also what I talked about earlier. And we've seen it in all level of sports, but this is like everybody's looking at youth sports. It's LSU. It's a giant stage. When he was about to get replaced, and make no bones about it, like they were about to insert a different running back because it wasn't working, he stood up and he said, I'll be damned, this is my job. I'm not giving it away. And some things changed in front of him. It wasn't his fault, the reason that they weren't getting yards, right? It was more of a blocking issue. But, they're trying something different. And he doesn't allow that and goes out there against Kentucky. He did what he did, and everybody's like, oh, it's because this, that, and the other. Okay, well, what about this week? This week, they knew you were running it and they couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
And the offensive line and Mashburn did a fantastic job, but he finished every single run that he had. He was patient. Shout out to Ty Davis-Price for not taking his ball and going home, not pouting, not sitting on the end of the bench. He accepted this challenge, and he thrived in this challenge of being RB1 when your job was on the line.
And getting Darius Geis off of the record books officially, too, was, like I said, a nice little added bonus. Them safeties wanted no part of TDP by the end of that game. They wanted nothing to do with that man.
They were running like, I'm going the other way.
No, bad read, my bad, coach. Oh no, I got blocked. Oh, damn it.
Bad read, you're right.
Mario, what you got?
Weekend loser, SEC officiating. They were bad all over the place this weekend. First, in the Auburn-Arkansas game, there was a play where Jarquez Hunter was still clearly in the air, fumbled the ball. They ruled he was down by contact. Then in the Ole Miss-Tennessee game.
Yeah, bro. The suplex.
Yes.
That was the tightest tackle I've seen in like 2 years.
He was still very much in the air
How
when the ball
did they
came
call
out.
that a call confirmed down? That was wild, dude.
Same reason they did not call the strip sack on Matt Corral down in the Ole Miss-Tennessee game when he was very clearly still in the air while getting sacked. For some reason, they said he was down. They blew the call at the end, too, when the guy on Tennessee got the first down, and they ruled him short in the spot. And guess what? This crew in the game between Tennessee and Ole Miss was the same crew from Mississippi State versus Memphis a couple weeks ago when Mississippi State got screwed out of that game. They said the play was dead. It was not dead. Memphis runs it back for a touchdown. So much is being made out of people throwing stuff, and you should not throw stuff at football games. Don't do that, people, but understand why they were throwing stuff. This is something that cannot happen. Not just the bad officiating, but letting the crew from that game be in this very important game. Got to do better, SEC. Weekend loser.
Very well said, Mario. Okay, now it kind of makes sense to me what their justification probably was. It was probably a forward progress thing because that's what it was in the Corral thing.
Yeah,
and then that's probably what it was in the suplex. I disagree with it, whatever. The spot, crazy that guy made that spot call, but he was short. He was objectively short.
Yeah, the Matt Corral deal, though, it's like, okay, well, if quarterbacks are running and the offensive line is pushing them forward for the first down, we'll allow that forward progress. But if it's like a strip like it was, like, no, the quarterback got to protect him. It was down. It's like, you can't have both.
I don't love that.
Got to use some common sense.
I don't love that. All right. Rivers is freaking out now that you brought it. You triggered her by bringing up that crew. All right, we're long again. Let's go to break. Off the bench.
OTB, OT.
Go to AccuTempBR.com today, AccuTempBR.com. Like we said, a full scoop of fall in the air. Studio about to get extra freezing in here, Jake.
Yep.
You need to make sure that your heater is working at home. You want to go ahead and take advantage of this great deal that AccuTemp's offering right now.
Yeah, AccuTemp is getting your home ready for the winter by offering a $59 heater system check. All you have to do is text the word heater to 31996, 31996. Prevent outages this winter by getting your heater checked today. Again, text heater to 31996. Of course, AccuTemp, you're going to get service to the highest degree. Just another fantastic offer, T-Bob, that they're offering.
Yeah, and so, like I said, you take advantage of that deal, and then you're entered in the workflow, and then so like 6 months later, they come and they check on your system for free, right? And they make sure that you're still good to go. And if something is wrong, then hopefully something small, and you avoid any catastrophic problems down the road. That's the thing. They are actively looking out for your best interests and get in that flow by taking advantage of this deal. Text heater to 31996.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Monday's AFR, presented by Relief Windows. We'll recap LSU, Florida. Cole Kubelik will be with us to recap the weekend in the SEC, and the Saints are finally off their bye. We're talking about it 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Just watching the tight angle of these counter plays.
Does that not change your world, having access to that film?
Yeah, ultimate.pff.com. I guess anybody who gets an Ultimate account can have access to it.
It's pricey, but good luck, by the way, like getting anything done in your free time now.
Yeah, I mean, and
you're gonna
like
wanna
the
watch
keyboard
film,
shortcuts to scrub and go slow-mo, but I just can't get over how much better the blocking is. And even the zone blocking was better, but like, also, what is the adjustment to counter that Florida's just wasn't doing or isn't seeing? Because you're obviously losing the one-on-one battles. I feel like
you have to, like, you're not, there's no edge being set. I think it's just personnel.
So I was going to say, I feel like they were just truly shell-shocked, like kind of like I was, that all of a sudden they're just losing all these one-on-one battles. Like they thought their defenders, like the O-line was bad, like we said, and like they've looked a lot of year, and that you'd win the one-on-one battles, and Florida just never came to reality with this situation. That no, Ed Ingram's playing like Ed Ingram, and Liam Shanahan, when he gets on angles, you mitigate where he struggles, right? Anthony Bradford, big guy, actually pulled pretty well. Him and Cam Wire.
Well, he's used to pulling
out there left
He's a
tackle.
guard.
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You know, so that's
fair.
something that he's
That's a
used
big
to.
man in space,
It's
though.
in his repertoire. Yeah, it is a big man in space, but at least he's used to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know, you have to take advantage. And I know they ran most of those to the right side, but they ran a 40-yard touchdown to the left.
I saw Deck pull around as well.
And they ran a touchdown. A 40-yarder was on the left.
Deck's body, you could tell, maybe hurts a little more when pulling. Like, I mean, there's a lot of like, it looks like a kind of like a rusty robot, like, now but he got the job done. He got the job done. So, and then Jack Mashburn. I mean, just having another, again, not just a guy who's an upgrade at blocking, but a guy who objectively looks like a dominant blocker for 2 games in a row now against good defenses. So I feel like that, there's no problem with saying that statement. You have a fullback. You have a fullback with a neck.
You have
roll.
an F.
You have a fullback
You
with a
have
neck
an
roll.
F.
Yeah. I know that has to make your heart very
Cowboy
happy.
collar. Are you kidding me?
I know.
He doesn't try to hide it. He doesn't tuck it.
Yeah.
His jersey over it. No.
Don't.
It's out and about.
Don't hide that light under a
Let it
bushel.
fly.
Let that freak flag fly.
No doubt about it. No doubt. Hey, by the way, since we're sitting here, we're talking about Florida and LSU over the last, however many years. What we say, 9 out of the last 12, 7 of the last 9, 13 of the last 20, 4 of the last 5, all those things. What's Dan Mullen's seat look like right now?
That's what I'm saying,
With the
dude.
way they finished last year, you were what, 8-1? You finished 8-4?
Bro, they're 2-6 in their last 8 against the Power 5. Ogeron's getting fired for 7-8 in his last 15. They're 2-6.
And you've gone to 3 straight New Year's 6 bowl games, but it's because of what other teams in the SEC did, and there was spots available more than what you've done.
Yeah.
And you haven't won a championship. You haven't won an SEC title.
Huh?
Now the expectation, I still think at LSU's probably
And
even
they
higher
already
than Florida.
And they already didn't
But-
really like Mullen to begin with. Like, I mean,
Fan base, because they don't like his recruiting patterns.
Yes, and I mean, but even the preseason, despite the fact that there shouldn't necessarily have been a reason for this, there were already articles being written about friction between the administration and Mullen, right? So I don't know. I don't cover the Florida beat, but it ain't cold. I mean, it's probably like the Florida weather a little bit. It's a little warm for sure. Would State rehire Mullen? I don't know. I wonder how Mississippi State feels about the Mike Leach experience as they are getting the full up and down Mike Leach experience. Todd Grantham. I remember this is the Florida defense. It was giving up 15 points a game. Held Alabama under 100 yards rushing. And TDP just set the record. Wildness, man. Absolute wildness. Oh, by the way, I want to do this in Weekend Losers, but ran out of time. It's not just Florida, like University of Florida, but check out this stat. For whatever reason, the Florida area just sucks at college football now. We live in an era where they are bad. Over the past 10 games, so if you look at the past 10 games, none of the 7 FBS schools in the state have a winning record.
Yeah.
Over 10 games. The best is, as I try to pull up my chart here, the best is UCF at 5-5,
Mm-hmm.
Miami 4-6, Florida 4-6, Florida Atlantic 4-6, Florida State 3-7, Florida National 1-9, South Florida 1-9, dude. So I don't know what's going on in the Panhandle, but the college football's garbage. Miami Dolphins are absolute garbage.
The Jaguars.
Jaguars are like, thank God for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady, or they would have nothing football-wise in Florida right now. I guess they're excited to go to Heat games.
So many other schools come into that state now, and they have a real footprint in different parts of Florida. Like, I think some of that plays into that.
Oh, yeah,
people
definitely.
realize the talent that's in Florida, and they completely recruit against staying home. And you got Georgia, Clemson, LSU, Bama, Auburn, all these teams that go into Florida and get some of the best players, not just pieces of your recruiting class, but some of the best players in Florida.
And there's no Bowden or Spurrier. There's no alpha male personality that's taking advantage of those.
They got
recruiting
Manny
grounds
Diaz in
until they're
Florida,
getting out of there.
Miami,
yeah.
yeah.
And Mullen's probably the closest, but as we said,
he's
not really struggling. All right, when we get back, let's close out the show. A little Ask the Bench. Keep it locked, OTB.
OTB, OT.
All right, go to Louisiana811.com. Today, we always tell you, because it's factual, in the state of Louisiana, if you're putting a shovel in the ground, remember, it doesn't matter what you've got going on, doesn't matter how deep, because some of the buried power lines in the state of Louisiana are right there at the surface. And so dial 811 before you dig, and because it is a law, because it's something that you have to do, they're going to make it easy for you. Right? They're going to come out, and they're actually going to do all the work. Now, they're going to put a flag right where you can and cannot dig, and it's also by color, depending on what line is underneath the ground, water line, power line, a fiber, whatever it might be. They're going to clearly mark whatever you've got going on in your yard, at your house, or at your place of business. So go to Louisiana811.com. There you can find all the information that we tell you about every single day. You can submit a ticket right there on the website, as well. But even easier than that, like I said, pick up the phone, dial 811, tell them what you've got going on. They'll be there in 1 to 2 business days. Dial 811 before you dig.
Our listeners fire up their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are now open for business and are ready to serve our customers with disaster relief employee pricing off I-10 in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crews at Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram are going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts.
It's week 8 in the prep football season, and we get you started Friday night at 6 with Louisiana Prep Preview. Catholic High and Santa kick off at 7, immediately followed by a full 2 hours of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on YouTube, CST, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm just an average man with an average life. I work from 9 to 5. Hey, hell, I pay the price. All I want is to be left alone in my average home. But why do I always feel like I'm in the twilight zone? And I always feel like somebody's watching me.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Whoa. Welcome back. OTB. Right now it's time for some Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Coors Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon Light Sky, Citrus Sweet. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Oh, how big a factor was the wind? Actually, here's something we didn't talk about. If you were wondering why Max looked inaccurate, look, I think that first off, accuracy is not necessarily his strong suit, but the biggest enemy of a quarterback is wind. My old man always talked about this, where it didn't matter if it's like snowy, wet, rainy, whatever the case. If it's not windy, you're completely fine. But when it gets windy, that's when it's sketchy. It's why like good quarterback play in like Chicago or when it's horrible weather in Green Bay, or Brady in New England so incredible because they're doing that outside in those conditions.
Yeah, and that wind was different than I've ever really been in that stadium with. And I was talking with someone, it's like, do you remember a win like this in Tiger Stadium? I said, well, I don't really remember many games at this time, so I don't think we know how this stadium plays at this time of day for the most part.
And you could see the punts with the wind were sailing, the ones against it were dying.
Yeah.
Some of those throws are so inexplicable. I do think the wind actually was a big factor, which is why good on LSU. Okay, we're going to ground and pound. Bam.
It was something I was looking at because it felt like that game might come down to like another field goal, like it did a year ago. And I'm like, God, thank God LSU has a kicker that can push it through almost any wind. And then you had the wind at your back in the fourth quarter. Not that Cade York needs wind aid, but.
Wow, he could have hit like a 70-yarder probably. He got her ass the bench. T-Bob, are you going to do a final Swamp King episode? Oh. It would be mighty interesting, wouldn't it?
It would be.
It's almost like this shirt is some sort of subtle hint. Something could be in the works. I don't know. Who can tell? Only time will tell. You'll have to watch Off the Bench. Huge thank you to Jake Hester, Mario Jerez, Danny Cardenas, and all of our amazing listeners, viewers. We love y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
OTB, OT.
Go to Ochsner.org. Speaking of people and organizations that I love Ochsner. I go there. I go to the Doc and Bucks and we're not feeling well. They got those peppered throughout the city because they care about that community's health. But let's talk orthopedics, okay? Because there's a reason why the Saints and Pelicans are partnered with Ochsner. There's a reason why they're now partnered with the LHSAA, developing medical guidelines to keep your children safe. The reason why they're partnered with colleges throughout the entire state, and that is because they are the experts in the field, okay? And it's on multiple fronts. It's not just in hiring the best doctors and physical therapists, but it's in giving those employees the ability to shine with the best facilities. I've toured the ORs and the MRI rooms and the post-op rooms in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, and they will blow you away in how far they go to make sure they are maximizing the effectiveness of what these doctors are able to do. So any issue, get right, okay? Stop putting it off. Go to Ochsner.org today. That's Ochsner.org.